in theory, the way that it goes from here, everything should be sounding good and perfect, and we should be up and running in some form of capacity. What quality of that capacity, that is yet to be seen. That's what we're checking right now.
Okay, I just seen it on YouTube.
You seen it on YouTube? You
checking
it out?
The thing popped up.
I hate that there's these 3 bitches that stole our whole clout, like the shit show.
Really?
Bro, it's literally like these 3 bitches right here, 3 blonde bitches right here.
Are you kidding
They're the
me?
shit show.
I don't know who these bitches are, but I know that we predate them.
And I mean, how are we gonna? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
gonna be hard to compete with.
I mean, like, and they have like their video from when you go to BJ or not to BJ. How no one's gonna want to listen to us when they want to listen to that.
Well, if you guys
talking about BJ.
If you guys insist, I'll tell you if you should BJ or not. Okay, is this the thing?
Always.
Is this backwards or is this backwards to us?
I mean that's a very valid question. You know, I'm not really too sure on that.
It's not.
I'm not really too sure on that.
We're good. We're good.
Oh, I do see the live thing. We don't have a photo though.
Okay.
I do see the live thing. We don't have a photo though. Yeah, we do sound good.
Did I not share this? We going on.
Yeah, we do sound good. All right, just try to figure it out. I mean, it sounds all right. Oh, look at Rodney. Shout out Rodney on YouTube, bro. What up, Rod?
He already in there?
What up, Rod?
Hey,
Lifted.
Rod.
Shout out Lifted Gaming. Check him out.
You started another one?
Another one what?
On the show.
I had to delete it. I had to delete it.
No,
What's going on?
I messed up. I shared from myself to the show live of already the show.
As the show?
Yes.
So you were the show as the show,
no,
sharing as the show. I got you. It's all good. It's all good. You know,
don't worry about me.
We're just some minor growing pain. That's really all. That's really all there is to it, man. I mean, like that's the whole thing, man. We're getting back up and running. We've got visions for this shit. I'm just glad we were able to get this thing working again. I think it will take another 2 weeks for another whole new PC to arrive or some shit like that, bro. And we'll spend $150. We were looking at, you know. So I mean, I think all in all we did pretty good.
How the fuck do you post as yourself in here, man?
Let me see. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's you right there.
No, when I shared it,
say something as the link
on the page, though.
Oh, okay. So you gotta go back. I think discard, and then.
No, I don't like it's. I don't like share.
For all the text shit. So you share that, right post. That shares as the shit show. Okay.
But it shared me on.
Have to change newsfeed. Public. I mean that's.
I did. I swear.
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, because.
Try it again.
Because you are. I was showing you as the page right here. Okay, here you go. Choose how to interact. That bubble down there. Click that. You choose how to interact. You're interacting as Mike now.
Okay,
now you're interacting. Now you can share.
Now
you can share.
Again.
Now you're yourself and not the physical show. You're not that anymore.
Got you. Okay. So I mean, I was already. Well, I'm glad that actually came up because I was already talking about like we could always, change the name, do a new thing. We're not attached to anything, bro. It's
exactly. It's the
now
it's
it's gonna be hard to compete with 3 big titty bitches talking about blowjobs, bro. That's gonna be hard to compete with.
If that's what you're looking for, you're gonna go find that. You're gonna find the problem is that they're gonna have the ad money to just always show over our username.
Yeah, they're blonde and big titties know they have the ad
which is kind of funny because like the YouTube algorithm would technically work in the opposite way, where they wouldn't show that type of content over ours. Because we're kid friendly. We're here. We're keeping it PG-13 for the kids. And everyone can listen to this podcast. You don't gotta worry about your kids listening about BJs and shit from 3 big titted blonde girls. You don't gotta worry about that. We're here to take care of them and educate them properly and break the indoctrination of that, of which is the public school system.
Well,
one video at a time, people. One video at a time.
Like I said, we can always go opposite direction. I don't mind rechanging the name. I don't mind at all. I don't even think about it. I mean, it wouldn't affect me. I don't even think about the name. I like the name. The main problem with the name has been the fact that I can't advertise. You know what I mean? I had to take the shit out of the shit show so that I could be able to advertise on Facebook. And then it's like on the show live. I think
you can fix your wires. You might be good.
I'm messed up over here. Don't worry about it. Let's continue. Let's get back to work.
Right,
Let's get back to work. Good to have you back.
There we go. Hey.
All right. Let's talk about.
Regular thing. My bad. That clap was loud. My bad.
We're good to go.
I'm going to crush one of those real quick. I don't know. Yeah. What do you got over there? Well, I don't give a shit. To be very honest, I just don't want a bad one. Don't want a bad one.
Don't drink that.
I feel like peach is bad. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I like this one.
You're fucking me. Yeah.
That's a good one.
This is a hard iced tea and lemonade.
That one, bro. That's a brisk tea.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored. Okay, but if you want, look at this product placement. I'm not covering the brand. Refreshing twisted tea. Delicious.
Twisted tea. Let the tea twist you.
Delicious. I mean, if you want to taste like
that's original.
If you want,
that's an original.
If you want to taste like you're drinking pine sol, this is the perfect thing for you guys. You know.
You think it's that bad?
I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask because I think I've come to the conclusion that me personally, I don't like alcohol. You know, I don't think I had the palate for it. Even beer. I mean, I like that one Corona. That first one, I'm like, refreshing. But that second one, I'm like, I do without. You know. Yeah. I'm just not. I don't think I'm an alcohol guy. I've recently been enjoying more wine though, so that's something that's different. I'm more of a sangria, which is more juicy and sweet, but
like fruity drinks.
Yeah.
I'll go to Bowman, not sponsored, and I'll see Jazz, and she knows like I'm like her. We don't really like strong shit.
Yeah.
So she'll make me like fresh squeezed fruit and shit, like oranges, mango, banana, whatever it is in there. Not banana, but it's like strawberries, and she'll put like a good amount of alcohol in there, but I won't even taste it. It just tastes like a smoothie almost. You know? So there's ways to hide alcohol.
Yeah.
The when you drink alcohol, you're usually trying to get drunk.
Yeah.
So if you want to get drunk, then usually
you need some stronger things. Exactly.
With these things, I'm just like, all right, well, I don't like brisk tea. First of all, I don't like iced tea brisk tea, but this tastes like iced tea brisk, and that's still way easier than a Corona.
That's why, like when I see wine, like I'm more so talking about like sangria, like where it's like it's mixed with other fresh juices. And like usually a simple syrup where sugar is melted down and then infused with the drink. So it's a sweeter, fruitier drink. I think that's more refreshing. And it also gets me, honestly, like a really nice drunk. Like wine definitely floats different than spirits and like beer without getting that full feeling that I get from beer, Like beer gets me to that good drunk. But like the bloatiness from drinking the 4 or 5 beers I need to get there is it just sucks. Whereas with the wine, I get that 3-4 cups of sangria. I don't have that bloated feeling, and it's pretty good. Like I mean, I enjoy it.
When I was on the
fun
resort,
drunk.
Bro, Jamaica, I'm like, because I always wanted to try wine, but I'm always like $9 a glass.
Terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. The market wine's terrible. Yeah.
So when I went on the resort, everything was included.
Yeah.
Bro, I got burned out. Every day I went to a different restaurant, I got burned out different wine.
Yeah.
Just kept trying and trying, bro. And I found like this beautiful red Merlot. Like I said, beautiful. I'm a wine guy now.
Yeah. Merlot. Lots of nice body. Stuck to the glass.
Well, I still drink. I got 3 bottles upstairs. Like, I came back and bought more. Because I was like, I love this shit,
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
The problem is when you're drinking wine, you can only drink wine, number one.
Yeah.
And it does give you more of a hangover, bro, for sure.
I mean, I think like I haven't had a hard wine binger, you know what I'm saying? So like
when I was on a resort, bro, I drank 8 cups the first day.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Once I found one, I like, well, they drink wine with food.
Yeah.
So once I found a wine I liked, I'm getting a lobster, I got wine.
Yeah.
It was steak, I got wine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started drinking and it really does enhance flavor, bro.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You want some wine? I'll go grab a wine.
Pop it up on here.
We're doing wine.
I'll be down to do some wine. I'll mix some sangria, bro.
I'll
mix some sangria, bro. I'll bring over some sangria where you can mix sangria and wine. Same thing.
I like it though. But I don't know if you remember the things I made at the last cabin we got. Them buckets.
Yeah.
They didn't taste too bad.
No, they weren't that bad. No.
There's really that fresh fruit, but I put tons of alcohol in those.
Yeah. I mean, those weren't that bad. Yeah, those weren't that bad.
That was alcohol.
Yeah, those weren't that bad at all.
Like the orange juice and the pineapple juice,
Yeah, those, like I said, those weren't bad. I saw like
you just gotta be able to admit that you're a softer drinker. That's how I admit.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I
can drink alcohol, but I want it softly. Simple as that.
Yeah, but I mean like
hard shit.
But like even then, like normally after I don't usually drink enough to get drunk or want to drink enough to get to that drunk state. You know what I'm saying? Like generally I'll sip a glass or two because the social environment I'm kind of in, you know what I'm saying? And then kind of like you're just hanging out, sipping some. It's like being a social smoker. You're hanging out, you're sipping a drink, you're having a social drink.
Well, the thing, like, bro, here's the thing though. So it's not on Molly's level. Molly is the ultimate social conversion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But the second best thing to me is alcohol, bro. I've smoked weed with people and not said one thing. You know what I mean? Just been
bro. Yeah.
Alcohol, like I've been able to meet somebody for the first time and felt like I knew them forever.
Exactly. Yeah. That judgment comes down.
The ego lets go a little bit. You start talking. You know what I mean? You're able to talk more openly. And actually, it's like I do think there's a place for it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Everybody just has to admit like what they're comfortable with. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're saying I'm a 2-guy type of drink 2 drinks. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You remember when I was there at that cabin? I didn't drink much at all that weekend, bro.
No,
I didn't drink it. Because that's what I didn't want to do.
I was surprised how much you drank it though. Right?
I didn't want to do. It's just
about a cup of vodka.
Well, after that first night, I didn't drink anything else that week.
You didn't? I thought you did.
No, after that first night, bro, I was like, because I was sitting, I'm just like, bro, the other stuff was plenty for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I think you're right. I think that the drink and the Molly is a nice combo, because like for me, like the drink is too much of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
I get to that point where eventually, like, everything's fun. Like, you're in that uninhibited mode. But like for the most part, like if I don't get to that point, I feel real sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't get that uninhibited mode, which is usually past more than what I'm comfortable drinking, then I usually feel really sluggish and tired, which is like what alcohol does until it hits that moment. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's just like normally I just have to like not drink at all.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to be like doing vodka and stuff, bro. I just don't think so. I think that like even like a beer, like I said, I want a fruity drink. I don't care how that sounds to any man out there.
I mean,
I want a fruity drink.
I'm tired of that shit,
I don't
bro.
want wine, though. I don't want wine on Molly. I want like a fruity drink. You know what I mean? Just like a pineapple. I want like a pineapple and Malibu.
Yeah.
Something simple. You know what I mean? Something real simple.
But like that's why I also don't mind the Crown Cokes, other than the what they charge. That's usually the only, like I don't mind those because they don't taste bad. And
well, we're here to talk,
and they get me to a decent drunk without drinking too much. So
Well, that's funny because I was sitting here thinking about it. Oh, we're going to talk about it today, and I was like, well, I don't gotta think about it because shit'll hit me in the head as we talk.
Yeah,
and that's what just happened. So here's my problem, Steve. Right. So first of all, I do drink some soda more than I should already. Right. So I had to cut that out again. So I've cut that out completely again because I got this point, bro. Where I told him my hardest on myself, dude. And people say that, and they're joking. And people say that, or that means they don't have people in their circle who are hard on them.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? I'm saying like it's still a point where it's like obsessive, right? So I started thinking like, okay, well, here I am doing all this bitching about this vaccine because of, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll stop drinking soda. Well, all of this is tied into the same bloodthirsty, poison you corporations.
Yeah.
So I stopped drinking soda. I started drinking Gold Peak. Okay, well, it's owned by what? Either I haven't looked it up, but I know it's Coca-Cola or Nestle.
Yeah.
I
or
know
Pepsi.
it.
Or Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly.
Frito-Lay.
Well, is it Pepsi Nestle?
Pepsi is like I think it's under Frito-Lay, which is like its own brand. It's a separate brand, but it's one of the big like five.
Right? So I got to the point where I'm like, man, I gotta start like, and put it this way: anything that's in a package. It's bad for you, bro.
Yeah.
It's bad for you. And then think about this, right? You go and eat a hamburger from McDonald's. This is coming from a person who has drank soda and ate meat. You go and eat a hamburger from McDonald's. When was that animal killed, bro? Dog, you're talking about it might have been years ago, dude. Whatever energy was to be consumed from that food is long gone. Okay? Now, that's the same thing I keep trying to preach about vegetables, bro. Vegetables are meant to be ate the day of, right? You can harvest them, and there is ways to process them. But ideally, bro, you keep the vegetable on the vine until you're ready to consume it.
Yeah.
That vegetable I got in my refrigerator, when the fuck did it get plucked, bro? A month ago at best.
Yeah.
They pluck these things early, freeze them, ship them in 18-wheelers across the fucking country or across the fucking continent. You know what I mean? And they hit your store shelf, bro. It's gone, bro. There's no nutrition left in it, man. I'm so gone. I'm back on my shit as far as this goes of like, I got to start living more of what I'm preaching. I got to cut back on things, bro. And people haunt me with that. Oh, what are you doing? Right. And they'll never credit you for things like that, because they look at it like, oh, you quit soda because it's good for your diet. Like, I quit soda because I know it's poisonous. Like I can go on a long rant about it. But the point is, you can't just, I feel like what I've learned about myself is like, you can't just live this life half-ass, right? You can't just choose things. Now, we're all human and we still are consumers in this life. I have to consume no matter what. That's where I'm at right now. there's nothing I can really do about that to change it. I'm working towards changing that. But for me to say, tomorrow I'm not going to go to the grocery store.
It's the idea, the long-term plan.
It's the idea of trying to get away from it, bro. Now, am I going to sit here and say, oh, well, I'm not going to get this vaccine because, fucking Pfizer, is criminally corrupt. Well, so is Coca-Cola. But I'll drink a Coca-Cola. See, now this is type of contradictions I do not want in my life, bro. So, but it makes it so hard, right? So like I told you, I go in steps, right? So, so I'm drinking soda, and I'm like, oh no, I can't have the soda. I'm gonna drink tea instead. I love the Gold Peak tea. I decided to drink tea. I'm like, oh okay, I drink. Okay, well, oh shit, that's owned by X, Oh fuck, so that's poison. Okay, so you know what? I'll just get my own tea bags. I'll make my own tea. Oh shit, that's actually a different type of tea bag, a genetically modified tea bag. Oh, I use my own. I use my own sugar. Oh, but that's a bleached sugar from Domino Sugar, a multi, corporation. It's also that's poison. So it's like, how far do I have to go down to be able to break away from this, bro? It's insane, dude.
So
I don't even know, how do you make a tea bag, Steven?
So I think the initial. Well, I mean, there's plenty of solid teas out there but I mean they're expensive. They're expensive. There's a premium price from like those that kind of like individual kind of like crop holders, and then depending on how they grow that shit, there's another level of like things like morals that go with that. But I think the idea is that first of all, you need to exclude all these artificial things that aren't meant to be consumed. Like these things are not meant to be this good. They're engineered this way to make them as much as addicting as possible. So you would have to get used to a blander, less flavorful diet because that's what it was. Like when you look at those ancient recipes and shit, like with like haggis, people don't like haggis, but in Scotland, it's because you used every part of the animal. You ground up like the heart, kidneys, and shit, and then you wrapped it in the stomach and boiled it. That's what the food was because that's what you had access to. The food's not meant to be this good. It's not meant to be. That's why spices were so valued back then because they could add these extra levels of. But even then, you weren't getting that seasoned salt. You know what I'm saying? You were getting here's some turmeric, here's some salt, here's some fucking ground chili, and maybe some pepper. And it's not used in like crazy amounts. Right? That's what I'm saying. It was just enough because it tasted different. I was able to cover up wild games.
Here's my thing though. Can I change your taste buds at this age?
You can change your palate. Your palate changes. Your palate changes. 100% changes.
Because the thing is, right? You have a child. I agree with you, right? So I think about like with my child, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to give them these things because then they grow a taste for it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
it's almost like blood,
man. And that's all you need. Exactly, man.
It's like blood,
I told you. Bray brought home that McDonald's one day, and I'm sitting there. I'm not even hungry. I'm smelling it, and the smell's making me hungry. It's an engineered thing. That's 100% part of the whole thing.
So I'm like, okay, well, I want to be able to take this away from my child. I want to not have my child wanting these things. Well, what am I going to still eat them? No. Right? Mm-hmm. So now what are you going to change too? Now you're going to change your shit, right? Well, why aren't you changing today? Now you need to wait till you have a kid to say you're going to change these things. This is asinine thinking. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to be able to self-critique people. I'm telling you, man, like if you're not self-critiquing all the time, bro, I feel like you're fucking up. Now, I might be wrong. Because don't get me wrong. Like I'm saying, I drive myself crazy, bro. But you have to be able to think about these things with yourself, and be able to improve yourself and be honest with yourself and know when you're being hypocritical or when you're being lazy, that you shouldn't. I seen a great quote, man. It said, leaders don't need motivation. They need discipline, and that's how I feel. It's like, I don't need nobody, I hate even the word leader, right? Because like I said, I feel like everybody's a fucking leader, man. I don't need somebody to come on and be like, good job. Good job. I really don't. I need somebody to keep me in line. It's the discipline aspect. That's the hardest part for people that got it. Yeah. You got the juice there. It's just the fact of really being able to implement that. Who's going to wake you up in the morning? No one. You have to get up. You see what I mean? That's the hard part. The motivation's there. If I'm up and we go to the gym, we're going to work out hard. If I go to work, we're gonna work hard. You see what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like the idea. So like with because there's leaders and there's followers. Whatever you can take that in whatever sense you want to take that.
I hate it.
But
I don't want to make nobody.
But there's there's straight up there's two ways of thinking in the world, and as far as like having leadership or not having it, there's well, I'm gonna go wake up everyone else, and then there's Mike's gonna wake us up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So like all the great men and individuals who push this life forward have all been leaders, because they go and propose the questions and the ideas, because they're just that. They're leaders, they're leading the way. Whereas followers tend to run in this circle of like complaining, and no real like ideas being pushed forward. Or if they do come up with one, they don't try and make that like a mainstream ideology and push that forward. So it's like, as there's the it's like there's like these great men and women that push the envelope every single day. And I mean, that's why I'm like when I think about it, that's what I strive to do more of, is push the envelope, but like in a good way. It's like, well, like no one's doing this.
Not for evil, yeah.
Someone may even call him a chump because of how he's kind of like killing, or how because he of how much he wants to change his idea and believe in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's what you want to do. You want to be the first one kind of on that idea. And when you are the first one, it's not like I think someone else is doing this, or
here's the problem.
I'm in uncharted territory.
Everything you said is correct. Now we run into the problems there, right? So let's follow the line and let's try to solve problems, because that's my favorite thing about this fucking podcast. Okay? Number one, I'd asked you, is it okay to be a follower?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Okay, now, number two would be, why is it that no one you know will tell you they're a follower?
So, I think the idea comes from the individual belief, and what's been instilled upon us, I think, from a young age, is that we're all leaders, and that we're all, I think, we're all successful. I think we're all, but I mean, because I want to challenge the idea that everyone's followers. You want to challenge that, but historically, things, odds are against them. It was,
line, bro. Right. So then I would lead to the next thing of you're right. So here's my thing, though. Right. Here's my problem with the word and the separation of leader and follower. Right. You're a king. You're a president. Whatever you want to put that role as, you're that. And you have to lead a nation, and you tell some people that they're followers, and some people are leaders, right? But yet you expect everyone in your civilization to reproduce, right? So everybody in your civilization is supposed to have a family. So you're telling me that a follower leads a family? Never. A leader leads a family. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Listen, you're not going to lead 1,000 Macedonians into war, but you're going to lead something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't have the ambition of, I'm always this, this factory assembly line worker. I'm not saying you need to go be Jeff Bezos, but you need to have the mentality of, eventually I'm going to operate, and then I'm going to manage this assembly line. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to have that want to be greater, and I have to believe that you can be.
Exactly. Exactly.
What kind of leader is
that? And that's what makes it tough, is that, it's it's seemingly so that it's almost kind of in the DNA and the blood, because I mean, the way people approach things, and because I mean, there's the leaders, and then even not under that umbrella, but then there's those like the bosses, you know what I'm saying? That's that type of shit, where they think they're leaders, but really they're not, that type of idea, So I mean, just because they were kings doesn't mean they were, leaders, but
it comes from no one to be a follower, though. No one wants to accept the title of follower, bro. Nobody.
Nah, bro.
So when you're saying he wants to be a leader, well, he's never gonna accept I'm a follower. So the only you're definitely not getting out of a man.
Like you said, yeah, like you said. I mean, it's kind of know when to speak, know when to listen. It's in it kind of in a basic sense. So it's know when to lead, know when to follow.
Do you want your wife submissive?
I mean, not exactly, I don't want a submissive person.
Okay,
I mean,
is your wife a leader?
I don't think so, no.
So then do you see what I mean? So let's say your wife was a leader, then what, two leaders are now going to coexist? You see how we have this problem?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you're talking about, not even saying submissive in the bad tense of does whatever you say, but a wife, a wife taking care of whatever wife duties you want to imply in this day of age. You get what I'm saying? She has to be a follower of some sorts, right? And you have to be a follower of some sorts.
I also don't think, it's the end all be all as far as like that type of like black and white of leader follower. I think, as you continue to like, no. I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not finished. I'm like, so like when with something like that, I think as I think there'll be a continued evolution and taking like no, there'll never be a perfect system, but there'll be taking and giving of individual systems and combining them to create something new continually and forever throughout time. As human relationships evolve.
So that's what I'm saying. So, it's not the person of does it have to be black and white, leader, right? What I'm saying is if it happens, it's going to happen. It's not black and white. It's going to happen, right? So let's say a leader and a leader become one another, right? I'm saying that one of those leaders has to take a back step. You cannot have two leaders. You see what I mean? Somebody then has to become a follower, right? Because eventually you can't have 12 men leading a group.
Well, that's the thing. And that's where we get into, even deeper hierarchical positions, where there's, I think platoon leader, company leader, battalion leader, general, like that type of thing. Like there's definitely levels to it.
Right, but we're talking about two people.
There's definitely levels to it. Like you said, where someone always has to take that step back for that continued balance.
And you become a follower.
Yeah, because otherwise there's a power struggle, thing in the mix.
What I mean? That's what I'm saying. They're like a whole circle there being of like, how can you say that anyone is a leader and follower? Eventually, even if two leaders meet, one has to become a follower. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is a leader and everybody's a follower. Now, the problem is people not being able to accept their abilities, right? The problem is that we live in a world, I think, in my opinion, we live in a world, right, where everybody wants to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a
star point guard,
right? Yeah. But you're 5'6". You see what I mean? If people would just learn to J. Cole style, love yours, you know what I mean? And you embrace what you bring to the world, you have to be aware. You have to critique. You have to be self-aware. So, you're what you are. You're 5'9". You're in a group of fucking 3 people that are over 6 foot, whatever it is. You find what these people don't know. And you learn it. You make yourself valuable. And you will find, I believe, pride and honor in the value that you instill in people more than anything.
Yeah, and I think that's where, I think people are okay with accepting their hierarchical position as long as it constitutes some type of level above the other, person or above the average person or whatever, however you want to put it. So, you have NBA stars and people know those NBA stars and they know they carry the NBA. And I think there's those role players who are just like, well, I know what I am in this NBA team. I think there are people like that. But there are people who, I think can go as far as say I'm a role player in the NBA. I won't be that star dude, but they can't apply that to real life because I think for the most part, people would think rather lowly of themselves because of where we at in the class structure.
But see, just what you're talking about right there, that's not correct, though, bro. Because I'll tell you that in the sports industry, it's frowned upon to say that you are less than anyone, bro.
And I get that.
While you're playing, you never say that, bro.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing I love about MMA, bro, right? So just understand what that entitles, Steven, right? If you're saying you're on a football team and you're playing DE and you say this team right now is not good enough to beat the Chiefs, right? You're saying your team isn't, bro.
Yeah, see, right? See, hold up. So I think you're taking kind of what I'm saying the wrong way, where it's I think someone like Steve Novak when he was on Knicks knew what he was, but he still had the idea was well, I'm in the NBA and you're not. That type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I think they can accept as long as it's a tier above someone else.
If someone mentally accepts it, maybe that's possible. Maybe that's possible.
I know you don't want to go.
But if you go ask any athlete in the world and you say who wins, you 1-on-1 versus LeBron James, they're never supposed to say LeBron James.
Well, yeah, 100%, and I get that.
You know what I mean? Because you want people to strive.
But again, I think Novak knew what he was. You know what I'm saying? I think I think Alex Caruso kind of like knows what he is. You know what I'm saying? But I like you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but
it's
in their driveway when they were 13,
they have more of the ability to accept it and be like, well, I'm not LeBron in the NBA league, you know, because it's like, well, you're not in the league, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. That's how I feel, you know. I think as long as the structure and the prestige of what you hold is still rather high, like I mean like someone being, you know, a sergeant versus like a lieutenant or colonel in the military. Like you're not a general, you know, you're not a lieutenant colonel, but like, you know, you're still a decent ranking platoon member. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's.
Oh, listen, I'm trying to tie this all into just the fact of like, no matter what, you're supposed to strive to want to be more, right? But like I said, with a factory worker, bro, you have to understand what you're capable of. So yes, you're right. Steve Novak was like, I'm good at threes. I'm white. I'm going to have the athleticism, but I am in the NBA, and this is what I can contribute. It made him work, right? But all I'm saying, we're not even disagreeing on nothing. All I'm saying is the added part of that is that you want every Steve Novak to try to think they can beat LeBron James one-on-one. You see what I mean?
Ideally.
Because you want that thriving nation. To be like, there's always more for me. Because no one wants to admit they're a follower, bro. Or a role player, or a factory worker, or a janitor, or a law. Even though none of these are discreditable.
Yeah.
None of these are all great things that are needed in society, but no one wants to be them.
Yeah, 100%. 100%,
so you
man.
can't get anyone. If you get 100 people together and you say, everybody go write on a note and then put it in this box if you want to be a leader and a follower.
Yeah,
in the upcoming challenge.
But like we would have to, so like, you know, especially when we had to like kind of like define what's like leader and follower, because like I said with the prestige aspect, you know, we are still part of the working class, whether you are a chemical engineer who makes six figures versus someone who works in public education making $30K a year, you know, pretty much in poverty. But this person who's still part of the same working class, who's in, you know, no real leadership or hierarchical position over me, feels better because of his position within, you know, has more prestige than that public education figure making more money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So like he'll be here, be like, well, I'm a chemical engineer, but you're still a cog in a working follower in a system.
There's plenty of jobs where people become managers for less money. Like that's common in the restaurant industry. People become managers and make less than they did as waitresses or waiters. But the manager.
You're busting people around.
Manager bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's a, I don't know, so kind of like the world duality of human, you know.
We're fucked. We're fucked because nobody can admit. What do they say? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You know, it's like that common thing of like, well, everybody, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, I want everybody to feel like that, but like, we have to be. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's leader and follower, but you have to be able to encounter someone else and be like, okay, I should take the next step on this. That's what I'm saying. You know?
I mean, that
comes in certain scenarios. You're gonna be like, say, you know, you're about to go to war. You got a veteran with you, and then you got you. You think you should be calling the shots? Well, that's just ego.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's also what becomes tough is like, you know, especially when you feel as though that person should be taking a step back to you. You know, like let's just say this person just came off, you know, more like they didn't necessarily have the qualifications to back them up. They just came off more convincing and aggressive than somebody else, you know, and it's like, and now we're going into like kind of like animalistic, so you know, power and kind of like things where it's like, you know, well, you know, it's why am I the one to roll over when I really feel as though I'm the best person for this position right now? You know what I'm saying? And that's where things get like, you know, definitely heated. You know, I mean, that's where we get into like, you know, all the things involving, you know, with the power struggles, two fighting forces who are both those deep anchoring leaders, and they're just butting heads. You know, believe it should be done a different way.
Right, but our way is so corrupted that it's really just based around who put more money out there.
Yeah, where it's not even about. It's not. I mean, like
it's just funny because like I was like a congressperson has never actually written a law. You know what I mean? Because if you think about the first layer of it is who's paying you, because the lobbyist is the one that's getting you to push that law. And then number two is a lawyer is the one that creates the law into literature. You know what I mean?
Or something happened that deeply affected the government to where a law was then like, okay, well, that wrote itself right there because that happened. We can't have that happen no more.
All laws are written by lawyers. You see what I mean?
Yeah, an actual people. They're just the people who sign it into law.
There's not even a vote on that floor.
Like,
that's really about it, bro.
And that's the thing. Like, they don't even have there won't be any senator there with an actual law degree. They'll have some shit where it's like political science. That's what they're fucking majoring doctorates in. And it's like,
and apparently, like I heard, like back in the day, it was a lot of lawyers. I believe back in the day, it was a lot more lawyers, but I'm a lawyer too, dude. Let me be honest with you, bro.
What is a lawyer when you're writing a law that is unwritten? It's just like you didn't really write anything. Something happened, and now we're reacting to it, and now a law just wrote itself because we can't. Like I said, we can't have that happen again. Something bad happened. Well, we got fucked. Well, we can't have that happen again. So here's this law that wrote itself because of some event.
Patriot Act.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It wrote itself.
It wrote itself.
For that? What do we need? Okay. Boom. After 9/11, what do we need?
I was talking about Guantanamo, bro, because like I was saying earlier with Guantanamo, bro, they just opened it up and they did like their first things there, bro, and they still won't show a lot. And there's over 20 people there with indefinite sentences, bro, which means that there's not enough evidence to convict them, but the federal government believes that they're guilty of war crimes, basically. It's crazy,
bro.
Dude.
I mean, I especially like more so recently. The more I continue to learn, the more things I continue to get pieced together over time, and it's just like
it's all crap.
I continuously like just lose my 100% faith in the American government and the United States country.
Yes.
But
it's not just us though, right?
I think it might be easier for people living in some countries with smaller populations, better economies, and more societal, things.
The top five. The top five. Are we corrupt?
Yeah, but you think a little less corrupt. The people got a little bit, the people got a little bit more.
We think that, right? But you're probably biased.
4-day work week. There's a little one for the people.
But you never know.
There's one for my people.
And it's like CEOs have no limit spending over there, or like insider trading is allowed, or some shit. You know what I mean? Like there's shit all over the world, bro. Basically, the rich are getting rich. Rich are getting rich, bro. I don't know.
But you look to countries where they have strong, thriving middle classes, and that's where you kind of look to find a little niche of like.
Raise your heart. Raise your heart, Steven. Listen, the way you feel about America is the way you should feel about every world government.
Oh man.
If there's a country, right, that is smaller than another country, how can they not be corrupt in the one that's bigger than that?
I'm saying they're corrupt. Look, I'm saying they're corrupt. But there's some where the people have a little bit more. Okay.
Think about all the places that America's in across the world. All the military bases.
Okay.
Everyone's corrupt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
We know. Listen.
So
let's do the biggest. We know that the biggest continent is the most corrupt, which is bigger than all the other 6 combined. Right. We know that's the most corrupt one on fucking planet Earth. Yeah. So the mayor of the fucking Nigeria just got busted with 100 keys. You get what I'm saying, bro? You're talking about. I mean, America. Yeah, we definitely are fucking corrupt, bro. But the bottom line is, this shit is fucking corrupt worldwide, dude. And I don't know how people just keep turning a blind eye to it, bro. But I really believe. Learn to grow your crops. Learn to get your water. Arm yourself.
That's the thing, it's like, there's a false sense, like, layer of security, in being provided those things. And then when you look at, especially like I love thinking about Baltimore City just because I live here, and you see the stories with the grocery stores, shelves being emptier. Prices are through the roof. And then you look at Baltimore's crime. We have 28 shootings in 24 days. There was multiple burglaries in the small businesses around Baltimore this past weekend, like 3 or 4. And, you really look at that alone, and that should cause so much worry. They can't protect us. They can't provide the food you need. They can't provide the clean water.
Well, what are you worried about?
Can't provide the clean water.
This is the thing that I talked about you before. We talked about Pfizer, bro. You're talking about, now it's this. Bro, they've done this so many times before, bro. Why does it have to happen to people? Why do people have to put their hand in fire to know it's hot, man? I just don't get it, bro. You're talking about a country that already suffered a depression. That already suffered a 1918 depression.
So
2008 economy collapsed. Within 100 so in 100 years, we already collapsed twice.
I mean, but how many generations talking about dying off in that same period of time? Talking about like 2 generations dying off. So, I mean, when you're a kid, you can't even like
you're talking about robberies and burglary, Steve. That's been Baltimore's fucking MO for 30 years. Murders, 24 and 22. Let's look at the last 10 years. I guarantee you, it's 20 plus in the first of January every single fucking month. It's the same fucking thing that happens.
So look,
over
but look,
and
but look,
over.
but look, but look, 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 look. This is the thing, bro. This is the thing. Yes, it was within 100 years, but we also came from having 13 kids because only 2 of them would see 35 plus. We came from, people being in extreme poverty to, what we have here nowadays.
What?
But look, life expectancy is up. There's hold on.
You're right.
The surplus of food is up, and there's cities and world and states around the world that are doing this much better, which makes it that much more easier to bear within some from the past 100 years, from going from having to build your house, all the hard work that goes into that, labor laws, no child labor, shit like that. Like so I'm saying, like I think for most people nowadays, the idea of life now compared to pre-industrialization and even during industrialization is better, and because we're only within 100 years of this, than what we came from, and we're still within a generation of 2 of that time period of what we're being told, where you have it so much easier than us nowadays. You have it so much better. The information's at your fingertips. We had to go to the libraries for the shit. So I think people in this mind continually are being taught that this world is continuing to get better and that we're moving in a better direction than where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
So then the idea of that being incorrect doesn't line up with what we've actually seen, because from our eyes, from most people's eyes, I believe their life has gotten better.
If you're
their families have gotten better. They've gotten bigger.
Bro, listen. Love you, bro. Absolutely. Everything you said is correct. At what cost, Steven? Just wait a second. Yes, all those things happen. Yeah, your granddaddy will tell you how much things got easier, right? What the fuck didn't get better? Planet fucking Earth. Planet fucking Earth got the worst it's ever got. Over the last 100 years was more carbon output than the previous every year combined from human civilization, bro. At what cost? Were they able to get the water there, bro?
Look. And that's the thing. That's the thing, bro. When you look into different generations, where you have a generation of kids more interested in the climate more than ever, more than ever. You were coming from the boomers who are just like, fuck it, oil and gas is the way to go, to the generation who are actually worried about climate issues and social justice and climate issues like that.
And the government already figured out how to fucking franchise wind power and is going to own solar power, is going to tax the fuck out of all type of. They're already. It's like, I'm trying to say this so many times, bro. All the shit you think you're getting, they already knew you deserved. You think you're getting something, but they already knew that you always deserved it. You just finally started saying something, and then they just gave it to you. You deserve 30 an hour, but you chirp for 15, so you get 15 over a 5-year period, and you think you've won. You're being conned, people. You are being conned. All the shit you think you deserve will eventually come to us, because they already know you will get it. They're not going to wait until and just give it to you. They're going to sit there and wait until all the uproar reaches this point of tyranny, to the point that we're ready to rebel. And then the Pope will go, gays are allowed. Or, we need a new solar. It's all shit that we already knew, bro. They sold your granddaddy's backs. They sold your mom's souls to be able to give you the world you see now, which is what? Okay. It's okay. You're talking about out of poverty? There's fucking countries living in poverty. People don't even got the fucking GDP of Maryland.
But look.
Bezos has higher fucking wealth than goddamn Ecuador. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro.
But also, look, this is within the past 50 to 60 years. You had a new country formed revolving around this radical idea of the freedom of religion, things of that nature. New country system, one of the youngest and one of the most successful in that right. Then you go from all that, then you get to up to the point where you have the after World War II, where you usher in pretty much kind of like a golden age for American civilization and culture. From the 50s to the 70s, you had this great economy, thriving middle class, and people doing relatively okay. And then, but you also had the DuPont and the Exxons. What I'm trying to explain is why people continuously to buy in and not push kind of like the new idea forward. So we're within 50 years of that kind of grace period of America, and now we're getting to this point where I think most people would agree America has fallen off its laurels. When your country's doing good, you have a strong middle class, thriving education system, and you as a country are doing good economically. People are doing better, for the majority. People tend to be happier and be okay with having those trade-offs within that system. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were in a better economy, that didn't mean that the government wasn't doing what the shit that they're doing now. We know they're even more corrupt with their marijuana ads, the racism all enveloped around that. We had the civil rights movement not until the 60s, shit like that.
That's what I'm saying when you're saying fall from laurel. I'm just trying to think about there's a country had a civil war.
So the
country had a civil war 20 years ago, bro.
But again, you're talking about a country who after World War II was in a pretty unique position as one of the best and highest economic powers, and with, like I said, a thriving middle class where you had people home ownership going through the roof.
What exactly are you saying?
Life was good for people, and the trade-offs that they're willing to make to accept what a government and being in a civilization entails is going away as time has gone on, and we're within, I want to say, 50, 60 years of this turning point of America. Now, I also believe in that same idea that America's roughest days are to come. And this is all theory, of course, and I'm not banking on anything, and I'm not saying this is my hope for what's going to happen. But I mean, I think as those things continue to happen, people become more unhappy with a system, with a country. A new kind of conscious shift will usher in and kind of change everything. But again, it has to be people pushing forward the new ideas, pushing forward and teaching these new things. You know what I'm saying? Growing your own food. I think more people are involved in food independency more so than what they have been within the past, 30, 50 years when that life period was good, when things seemed great for the country. Now we're reaching a point where things are very rough for the country. There's more divide than ever. People are at their throats with the age of social media and, the kind of manipulation that goes into these certain people and parties. You see, people's resources reach a scarcity, natural gas shortages, food shortages, things that even homesteading people rely on to remain off grid. And you see a new younger generation involved in social justice issues and climate. I mean, it just seems that there's a lot of bad written on the wall, but there's also a lot of good written on the wall, where I think good people will continue to push forward these ideas and these new ideologies and teach people that thing. And, we could see a conscious shift, a cultural shift, in America.
I think that's well said. And I like that. And I do like that.
Who knows if it's real? We're realistic.
I do believe that's possible. Here's my problem, though, is I just believe we're so many steps behind. I don't think it's as close as you think it is, bro. We're I am going to try no matter what. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to try. But I think the odds are stacked, bro. I mean, so you're talking about
100%.
You're talking 100%. About, let's just run through a few things. So you're talking about growing your own food. It's can you get a real seed? Can you get a real seed, Steve?
Well, this is the thing. Like I said, there are more people interested in that more so than I think in the past 50 years. More so farmers have continued to lose people. I think more people have been worried about food dependency and depending on these sources for food. And I think if something like that was to happen, you would quickly have, the people who can hunt and feed themselves survive and help those who they deem fit, and the ones who can't feed themselves or have no other useful skills to provide people probably to die off. I mean, where you society collapses, where are you getting food in Baltimore City? Where are you gonna go hunt? You know what I'm saying? Like, most people wouldn't even know where to think to go find some type of substance,
bro,
or even be able to grow food for themselves.
I'm not even going to discredit what you know. We know this country's corrupt. That's what we're talking about, right? But you understand the level of corruption, right?
Yeah.
So why are you discrediting them so much?
What, the government?
Yeah.
Why am I discrediting them so much? What do you mean?
Just think about everything that's around you for 1 second, and think about how that entire image is created, for-profit evil system, right? And just think about how many cogs of that goes into that, right? But what we're going to do is find the first solution and it'll work. Hey, bro, the first real seed you think you got is the first of 16 fake ones they've made already. They know that they already know, bro. They already know that there's too many of us. You see what I mean? That's why they say, that's where like the what is it, deglobalization comes into talk, because they know, bro.
Yeah.
If we really decided tomorrow to say no one, listen, tomorrow I'm not going to work. I don't pay taxes no more. Bro, if 100 million people, just a quarter of America, we would change the fucking country overnight, bro. Truth is, it'll never happen, dude.
No,
because they already beat you 50 different ways, bro. But I feel like it has to be that complete detached, dude. I'm starting to get to that point.
See, and that's what I am not so sure of. I'm not so convinced. I mean, we've seen lackluster responses to, riots. Whenever a large group of people, gather together for no matter what, whether it be Black Lives Matter or a sporting event like Super Bowl winning, like when people get together, unless you gun us all down fighting for what we want, then then anything's possible. You have Arab Spring, and then once you have kind of like a foothold or some type of lost territory to something, I mean, like it just like unless you were just like gun down entire city populations who were starving, then we're probably at a point in the global landscape to where that's happening everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's go down the road. Number one would be, do you think it's possible for this system to work?
Possible for this system, as in like kind of like the market capitalism, or like
X amount of people.
I think so. I think you can appease people enough to subdue them in a way. I think you can appease people enough to subdue them.
400 mil?
I think less than that. Like I said. I mean,
what do you mean? Well, I'm saying to make this country work, which is 400 million people in a capitalist market democracy.
I think you can. I think you can
make that work.
I think you can, and I think you can appease people enough to do so. I think you can. But listen, is that saying it's right? I think you can appease to the population enough to keep the thing going. I really think you do.
So you're saying that form of government intact is correct? That can work?
No, see, I think that's a leap. I didn't say it was correct. I'm saying it can work, and you can appease people. I didn't say it was correct.
No, I'm saying
it was right.
System work?
I didn't say it was right. I didn't say it was correct or right. Hold up.
Can we continue this system of government?
Like I said, I think you can. In its current state, no. But like I said, you can appease the population enough. I think if you were to Listen, I'm telling you, bro, because if you can make people just happy enough, they will continue to forego certain freedoms and things in order to have this lifestyle.
Right. No, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm trying to say in a good way, Steve.
Listen,
Not in a bad way.
Listen,
Do you think if you were like the leader of this country, do you think you could make this system work in a good way, not in a bad way? To try to do it for good.
But that's the thing, that's the thing. This system isn't inherently a good system, or I think it's relatively bad for the lower classes per se. I think it's relatively bad because they're the labor force, they're the ones driving the economy forward, but reaping what would still be the least amount of benefits. But I think what you can do to increase it is require companies with no way around it to provide employees with health insurance. Especially large companies. I think if you're able to provide higher wages and enforce higher wages for people in the country and create a stronger middle class, I think you can make people happy to where me and you.
Well, I would argue two things there. First, I would say that the lower class is technically supposed to be unskilled, bro. So when you say it's the one that makes the economy go, I don't agree with that. I believe it's that new poor. It's probably that layer to middle class.
Well,
when you're talking about lower quality, bro, so you're talking about the poverty quality of America?
We're talking simply at their core laborers. So that's what they offer to an economy. That's what they offer the economy. Exactly. Because you need those employees for this type of capitalistic thing. And
I don't believe that's what drives your nation, bro.
Huh?
I don't believe that your lowest class is what drives your nation.
I think. Well, why?
I don't believe in that.
I think so because what? Because everyone can't be this what I'm saying, there's only a limited number of chemical engineering positions that we can fulfill. To a point where we have chemical engineers who are ready to be chemical engineers, but they're working at a dollar store.
Well, no, it's it's just all around tradesmen would fill a lot of the middle class men, which is what really builds America. It's trades.
Well, that's what builds America. But we're talking about what drives this economy, and it's all the low-skilled workers, tradesmen, all the workers, the labor force. No, bro, who is the labor force?
Bro, we've been down this before. I told you what drives this economy. What drives this economy is federal grants for architecture. That's what drives this economy. That's why I'm saying, does this economy work? No, because it's built for each individual city. Listen, I'm jumping out. Each individual city and state. First of all, let's start with America. America has operated in the red since the year it was founded.
Okay.
It's never made a dollar, right? Yeah. Each and every city and state in America has operated in the red since it was founded ever, right?
Okay.
The only way that a city is able to continue to fund a city itself is by getting federal grants. No city is self-sustainable in America. None of them. They have to get federal grants. And the only way you get a federal grant is for building. So that's why you see in broke-ass Baltimore a harbor reconstruction.
Yeah.
But they have poverty. So they keep getting these federal grants to be able to keep building more shit to try to fill these jobs. But each time, the city goes deeper into the red. Therefore, the federal government more and more and more. Look, this system, constructed with good or evil, needs to be improved.
But that's not excluded from what I was saying. The same companies that come in, the Rite Aids, the Walgreens, the Dollar Trees, the grocery chains, all those companies drive America's economy the same way those infrastructure and those companies build. They do the same. Yes, they do. You need localized economies and money circulating through many different avenues to create a city. The same people
continues by building the district.
There's
district. It's a capitalist society.
Yeah, but we've seen that you can build it, and people won't stay if the opportunity and the luxuries aren't there. Look at Detroit. Look at it.
So why do they keep building? So why do they build it when they can't fill the last thing they built? Why do they keep building?
Okay, but I'm saying that's not excluded. You were acting like that was somehow excluded from what I was saying. It's the same thing.
What I'm trying to explain to you is, you're saying that system can work. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if you do that with good people with good intentions or bad people with bad intentions. That right there is so old and prehistoric that if we flip that over, if we just flip that one leaf over, then we're admitting a lot of things up the line of America, all the way to the fact that America is in the red. You see what I mean? So we can never flip this ultimate trump card of the ultimate proof. We have to keep building to keep getting more federal funds so the federal fund can keep pretending the dollar's big and we can keep building and building and building. When the building stops, everything in America will stop, bro. It's funded by building. Nothing else. Nothing else, bro. I'm telling you.
Nothing else. Nothing else.
Listen,
not the hundreds of billions of taxes generated by all these businesses operating, bro. Steve, I mean, like, come on, bro. It's not excluded. It's all part of it. Steve, not excluded, bro. Jesus Christ.
Steve, here's my favorite part. Okay, listen, Steve. Here's the best part. Here's the best example for it, right? Baltimore gave Amazon fucking 50 million fucking acres over there in Halliburton, right? But Amazon goes everywhere and does what, Steve? Pays no taxes. Because Baltimore made the money for building the spot for Amazon. Amazon makes the money for Amazon.
Yeah, but Baltimore also, listen. You know what Amazon, you know why they do that though? Because Amazon's able to come in and capitalize off our high unemployment rate, employ a bunch of low-skilled workers, and then you know what happens? Those people take money and spend it in Baltimore. That's so crazy.
So compare all those people's money together and what they spent in Baltimore. And then think about how that wasn't one day of profits of what that Amazon warehouse made in that year. And they paid no taxes to you.
Man.
What they did was come in, use up all of your poverty-stricken fucking city that you created for the free district you gave them to pump out box after box so they can make larger profits than they ever pay their employees and rotate it. Why do they love when people keep rotating from Amazon?
I get it, but the way you keep saying it is like I'm arguing against you somehow. I don't understand, bro. It's the way you're saying it though. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, calm down.
It's like, I'm sorry. I'm fired up first. What I'm saying is, I asked you, right? I asked you because I said, will this system work? And you said, yeah. So my whole problem is like, that's just the first thing I would attack, and it fucks the whole system up. You see what I mean? Because if you leave it, no matter if I put Bernie Sanders or whoever your fucking hero is in that role to do that, that system is designed to be phony. It's designed like if the city can't operate in the green, then it needs to pull back. You see what I mean? But what happens if every city in America that operates in the red every year says they need to pull back? America pulls back. Our dollar goes down. You see what I mean? So America is going to keep giving them federal grants. And they're going to keep bringing it out because that governor wants to be the good governor this time. So he can go to Senate, right? And that mayor wants to be the good governor. You see what I mean? So they're always going to pretend that everything's okay.
Yeah, and you can
spending those federal grants, bro.
You can attack.
The system needs to be completely overhauled right there.
Listen. I think you can attack a lot of facets of the system, but I think all you have to do is no loophole, no bullshit. This shit you take out every bit of corruption or bullshit in this bitch, okay? Because the big thing I think that a lot of people and that would be tough to break away with capitalism is the amount of money it's able to create, and I think it's more so about like the distribution of that money that's able to create.
Right, but my whole argument just now was that it's fake money, Steven, they're printing money. They're printing money like it's
okay,
nothing.
but you can,
fake.
but you look.
Fake,
look.
Bro.
All right then. Okay then. So then.
What? You're talking about how.
But you asked me if we can make it where I think you can continue to, like I said, please people enough to keep them going. So no matter how fake it is, that's what you asked me. This is how you can keep it going. This is how you can keep it. This is how you can keep going. This is how you can keep it going. This is how you can keep it going.
Think again. Is that the question I asked you?
What did you ask me?
I said for good.
For good. Yeah, you can. You can keep it going for good.
So
yeah, you
how can you do something for good?
You mean like good and evil, not continuously?
Yeah, no. Like good and evil. How can you do something for good when its system is created in the red?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And I told you it's a bad system.
So then
it's a bad system, but you can keep it going, and you can keep it going on.
So let me ask you these. Let me just play with it a little bit. Can 400 million votes be counted accurately precise down to one single vote?
I don't think so, no.
No, okay, so that means one person vote didn't count? Yeah. Are we all okay with that, America? Are we all okay with it being your vote that did not count that year?
And I mean, you know, like one of the recurring problems is is the population size, you know, and I mean.
Well, according to Trump, they have 5,300 Mexicans voting in America.
Oh God!
And then you get into like Russian hackers and social media influence, and I think that the system cannot be saved, bro. I just think there's too many levels of it that are corrupt. Now, I do like certain parts. But at the end of the day, I start with number one. It's funny because you're the one that really brought this to my attention one day, and I feel like you've just lost the main purpose of that of 400 million. You know, you're the one that brought population.
No, but
how can we?
But listen.
How can we do 400 million?
But listen.
That's so crazy, bro.
But listen, bro. They're like no matter what you want to say. Okay, no corruption. No matter what you want to say, there's countries that do it. You know, I mean, no matter however they get it done, they do it, and that's what's gonna become. It's gonna be and this way or like, you know, like China. We're talking China. Are really whipping their population into control. China.
Who cares? It's still all owned by BlackRock.
China.
It's all the same, bro. All across. Why you like? Why it's crazy? Like, okay, so listen. You think America's corrupt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you think that anything that America does business with isn't corrupt? So good countries do business with corrupt.
What are you saying though? You said what country's doing it with that many people? China's doing it with fucking quadruple the population.
Every fucking government in the world.
And they're controlling the shit out of that population. And they're getting it done. And it's corrupt. I never said it wasn't. But you're saying, you asked me, can it be done? Yeah, it can be done. No matter, I mean, you want to go dark, you go China dark. You go China dark. You know? Whereas like,
keep saying there's countries that are doing that, country that.
It's a corrupt. I never said it wasn't though. That's what I'm saying. It is a corrupt. It is a corrupt country. You know what I'm saying? But would I say that China would answer BlackRock? Probably not. You know, China's an American company that's based in America. And if you think that China would let an American company control them, you know what I'm saying? China's richer than BlackRock. What are you talking about? I don't understand. You think BlackRock answers to China?
Bro, listen. Whoever you think,
BlackRock would make China. Literally, China would make BlackRock disappear.
Brother, why aren't you connecting these dots, Steven? Who leads China? Who's your leaders? Who is, I don't know, fucking whatever you want to say, Peng?
Right. Whatever the Chinese government.
He's BlackRock. That is fucking BlackRock, Steven. That's their fucking CEOs.
China.
Picture BlackRock, and then you got 12 corporations, and each one of them is a president. You're talking so much bigger than you could ever think, bro. You're saying they won't answer to China? That is China too, bro. That has no race. That has no region, dude. That is elitists that have decided what is most profitable in this country, which is poisons and weapons. And they have invested in it throughout the entire world, bro. America is not exempt. China is not exempt. Peng's got he's got ties to BlackRock and Vanguard Group. They're all tied in, bro. It's not like, oh, these are the Rothschilds and they don't talk to China because China would do that. That is, bro. You think when you reach that level, bro, think about how tight China is, and you reach the apex, you think you're not talking to BlackRock, bro? You don't think you're in that circle? You're in the circles that the circles ain't in, bro. You're the apex fucking top, bro. You're either going to have to be, listen, it's one or two options for me. You're in that circle or you're the puppet for that circle. You see what I mean? It's not,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Out, bro.
I'm not sure, you know? I'm not so sure, man.
Bro, you're crazy.
I don't know. It's just crazy. You say it as if like you're so sure, you know, but like the way I look at it,
I don't
listen. The way I look at it, that's what I'm saying. Like when you talk, like present stuff like that, it's just like, oh, you can't see that. Like, but like I just see it a different way. Whereas like you have those BlackRocks,
you're saying things like,
but
don't let them in.
I'm like,
what,
I didn't. What I said China wouldn't answer the BlackRock.
They all answer to the dollar. They all answer to what makes money.
Yeah, but what would be most profitable for you?
So
to have your country's currency the most dominant currency, which is the battle we're all playing here. I think when you get listen. This is what I look at. I think on the world stage, I think you have your BlackRocks. Yes, you have your governmental ties with your financial district, everything. Okay, cool. You have that, but at the end of the day, what's really at the top is whoever is in that room with Putin or the United States or with Xi, who really ultimate, in my mind, those elite groups of individuals who run countries, who make world law, those types of things. Yes, you would be in bed with BlackRock, but to me, like, China is in a category of its own as far as like how it maneuvers in this world as a country. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sure BlackRock has some shit to do in Chinese economies as would any financier group or any big multi-billion-dollar group. But at the end of the day, a country whose value is their economy, some like China, USA, Russia, to where the money is beyond comprehension. The power that you literally have as a country. You know what I'm saying? Pulling strings and maneuvers in that type of stage. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, those are the apex. You know, you have those grand superpowers in this world. And whoever goes behind closed doors in those rooms of those, BlackRock might be in there. But China could have off BlackRock in my mind as far as power structure goes. You know what I'm saying? There's countries. And when you have a country with your currency, well, that's how you really make the most money, because you, just like America, guys, you just print your money. And in China, currency manipulate. Like, that's what you do. Like, that's where you get your grand funds from. And BlackRock, you get in bed with BlackRock because of their ability to create that money. So then, you have those ties with BlackRock. But I think at the end of the day, China as an entity, a country, Putin as a country, an entity, would really ultimately run those, cut off those things. Like Gazprom could try their best, but I don't think they're gonna off Putin.
Your argument is just as fair as mine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to be conniving with it, right?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, like, what I'm arguing here, it's not conspiracy. These are facts, right? So when you're talking, is this, to me, it's like I'm having trouble with why, like, you can see about how it would be. So we're not even trying to say it in a weird way, but like, I just thought that
would be the other way,
right? So like what you're thinking to me is would be like the simplest way of corruption, bro. What I'm talking about is like, I'm trying to explain it the perfect way. There's no perfect way. Like, if we could picture, BlackRock, it's not a company, bro, right? But it's this X amount of people, right? Now, as far as we want to go, and go as far as we want to go, but it's not anybody can look up John D. Rockefeller's father, right? And see what his objectives were, right? And anybody can look up how John D. Rockefeller wrote the history books for public schools, right? And how we were designed for 9 and 5s, right? Like, anybody can look that up, how he did the ethanol, right? He didn't want to buy alcohol. Yeah. Anybody can look up all this shit he did, how he controlled oil, how he was the first earth billionaire, all these things that he did, right? So what do you think became of that, right?
I got you. I can answer right now. The idea that they're not in bed together is nothing that I ever present, because they are. Whereas he goes to the American government, because at the end of the day, the American government has to issue the textbooks. So listen, I go tell you how it is, brother. Other like, oh man, America's like, that's a great idea, So then there we go. We circulate textbooks everywhere.
I see one separation, brother. I picture it being a lot easier, because, like I keep trying to say, bro, it is all fake. That's what I believe. Okay, that's just what I believe. And what I'm going off of isn't like me going far off of a road here. I follow those facts of the Rockefeller, right? You get to this point where you realize all of these currencies are fake, bro. They've all agreed to use a currency just like they've agreed to use religion, the same exact way, to get people to work towards a certain way, a certain formation, right? They've all done this. So why can't it easily be, right, that when you're talking to me like, oh, well, they need America to do it, bro, picture it as one, right? it being fake, Steve. There's no real competition, bro. Today, this year, China puts taxes on it. China, we're going to let you tax them. We're going to lower that. That'll bring them down a little bit. Next year, you're going to be back on Russia. Russia, you're causing problems with them. Company mindset, bro, on a world order. You're causing issues here. We're going to allow that invasion here.
And it's not that I can't see that, but
Jang or Biden being 1E to whatever it is in that consistent
and that's the thing,
that's
but like
calling those
it's
shots,
just,
bro.
Like I said, this is what you say. I can see that, it's just not how I think it goes down.
You think China?
I just don't think it's how it goes down.
Why do you think
it's just
China
that's what I'm saying. It's weird
does money manipulation when all of the entire world has accepted centralized banks. Bro, the money manipulation comes from a centralized bank. China can manipulate what the fuck they want. Nobody cares when 52% of people are almost in famine. They've got their own fucking issues. It's not like they got it all figured out, goddammit. Now, we're talking about centralized banks. You're talking about 2 countries in the entire world not having it. It's what? Ecuador, right? And I forget, is it North Korea?
I think it's
Cuba and North Korea, right? Those 2, which means China has the central banks, right? The central banks are what is pumping that money and funding that money, right? We've seen how they do on stocks. We've seen how they do on price per gallon of oil, price per barrel of oil, bro. Even when they have the oil, they raise the price to fluctuate the price still, even when the oil's there. And when the oil's not there, they're still sell for low. They're doing all this just to fluctuate price, to fluctuate markets across the world, bro. But I feel like we're not giving them enough credit, bro.
But see, but that's the thing. It makes it so tough to believe that, because then why do we then, go back 30 years and then you see a completely poor, underdeveloped China? And then once its rise to prominence really comes into play, where they actually realize what they are as a country and a force, as a people, having one of the largest populations in the world, they come to realize that. I don't think anyone would have ever wanted a realized population of that size to compete with, bro. That's what I'm trying to think about. So we have
30 years ago they were in a room and they said, China, we're going to start popping with you.
And 30 years ago, America didn't realize the amount of untapped oil they had in this country, so they went and found it elsewhere. But then they realized that they had to find it here.
But
it's like those things. There's those resources.
Need, no matter what, bro. Even after they got all the money, they still need a workforce. They don't want to do their own jobs, bro. They still want maids.
The government need employment. The government need money circulation into people's hands. We can work together. But at the end of the day, none of it's possible without the government, which is why I think the power struggle is up here than down there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So we both agreed earlier, though, right, that every congressperson's laws are based upon a lobbyist, right? We had agreed on that, right? So is a president's not?
Wait, what?
We both agreed that the senators and Congress are based upon what the lobbyist wants them to do, right? Is the president not?
Yeah, 100%.
Who's the president's lobbyist?
Now listen, the people in Congress, because except outside of his executive orders, I mean, like anything else he signs off after it's been through Congress. But again, at the end of the day, again, I think the power. I mean, because those companies want to maneuver within the government how they see fit, which they have to. So in my mind, you have to go to the government to get that access. That's what I'm saying. So in my mind, the power is still here, because at the end of the day, we could choose not to listen to lobbyists, but they do, because they want to be able to maneuver in the Congress. They want to be able to maneuver in the American government system.
They can choose to not listen to lobbyists.
Bro.
I think it goes so deep, Steve. Steve, they have people that get together and figure out algorithms to bust unions. And you think you can go on there and not do what your lobbyist wants you to do? Or go against where the money's at? Bro. You could have nipped into the butt. You could have nipped in the butt a lot longer ago. You know what I'm saying? And then what? You made your way all the way up the politics.
I mean, everything. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Everything's hypothetical. Again, you're going this thing where it's everything's presented as like wrong. Okay. I mean, like it's just. But I'm saying, just thinking about it differently, bro. I'm saying you're seeing. It's simple. You call whatever.
So hold up. What was hypothetical?
Everything hypothetical? What do you mean? What did I say that was hypothetical? What were you just saying? What were you
I
just saying?
said
Everything.
that senators in Congress get paid by lobbyists who control what laws they make.
I'm saying
hypothetical?
I'm saying no. We just admitted that was true.
So
I'm saying in the world where they okay, all right.
Does the president have lobbyists?
He answers to Congress, which they all have lobbyists. Yes,
He
okay.
answers to Congress. He writes executive orders over.
Congress owns the fucking president. What are you talking about? The president can't do shit without the fucking Congress. Congress can overrule the fucking president with a vote.
Executive order is, Steven?
Bro, they can, oh my god, they can literally override the president, bro. They can literally override the president, bro. They can literally override the president, man. They can override the president, man. He has executive order privileges, but man, at the end of the day,
listen,
Congress controls the president.
Okay. So what was Biden 2 months before he ran for president? He was a senator, right?
I think he was actually. I don't think he was in government again because he was vice president. I don't think he was in politics. I don't think he was in politics.
He wasn't in politics at all.
I don't know.
Even 2 months before he ran for president, he wasn't in politics at all. Come on, bro.
He was vice president. I don't think he was in any running position. You can. That doesn't affect his ability to run and be president, bro. He's already well reputed.
Before he was president, he wasn't vice president. I get what you're saying.
He was vice president with Barack, but before that, he was a senator. But after vice president, I don't think he went back. I don't think he went back.
Well, he prepped for a presidential run.
Yeah.
He'd been doing
that for 4 years. But I don't think, I'm just saying he wasn't running a state-held position.
Okay, man. So before he was vice president, Steve, what was he? He was a senator, right?
He was in Congress, yeah.
And he had lobbyists, right?
He was in Congress, yeah.
Okay, so what was he before he? So he didn't have lobbyists before he ran for president.
No, he always had those connections to those companies. Right. Yeah, so that's not an argument.
Just walking down this line. Right?
Yeah.
So now, does the president have the same lobbyists as Congress?
No, I think they have different ones. Yeah.
So who's the president's lobbyist?
I mean all your usual players. You know, what I mean, whoever wants to navigate within this economy. You know,
Microsoft and like those type of people.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about tech regulation, when you're talking about oil and gas regulation, the present companies that you would expect to be there would be there. I mean, okay.
So oil and gas. So then we follow oil.
I mean, you go to anything that the government's looking to regulate or anything that you're looking to deregulate. If you're looking if you're looking into sports betting, you're gonna have lobbyists for sports betting. If you're looking for let's see, if you're looking for fucking speedway regulations, you would have some type of fucking local lobbyists for speed, regulating speedways or lowering them or some shit.
Right, but here, that's what I'm trying to say right there, though. Right, so he's a senator, and you're saying that the senators don't have the same lobbyists as the president. So
they all lobby. They got different lobbyists. I mean,
when he becomes president,
you would appease to different
when he becomes
senators depending on where their vote may stand. I mean,
when he becomes president, does he have the same lobbyists as the rest of the senators or no? You're saying he has different ones, right?
Yeah, like I said, depending on where the vote lays is where the lobbyists will be. Let's
just go for example. Who do you think it is for Biden? Who do you think is lobbying for Biden?
What do you mean lobbying for Biden?
Like who's
lobbyist? Like I said, I would say anyone who's trying to regulate or deregulate within the government or the economy. I mean, you would have a large span of every company out there, every big company.
Every company lobbies them.
I think every company lobbies. Yeah.
So you think Pepsi is lobbying them and Coca-Cola is lobbying them?
Oh yeah.
So both of them lobby them.
Yeah.
So it really is fake.
Okay.
So what I'm just trying to get to this point of like, bro. So you're saying Congress overrides the president? First of all, an executive order is meant to bypass Congress. Now I don't know exactly the logos, but that's literally what an executive for. It's to pass Congress. They sign hundreds of them a year, and they go behind Congress, right? So that happens all the time. So I don't know why you were.
By the end of the day, no, it wasn't like you were crazy. But I'm just saying. Okay, all right.
I'm just saying it's not a hypothetical.
All right, okay, whatever. Move on.
So you're saying that they have different lobbyists. Well, you're saying like Congress can override them. Well, I'm thinking like in my mind, maybe I'm wrong. In my mind, they have the same lobbyists. Like that's what we're saying.
Who writes the most laws would be Congress. Who would if the Congress can veto a president's bill. I mean, they would ultimately the Congress chooses to go to war. I mean,
right, they have a lot of but I believe you're the one saying that they were different.
But this all stemmed from the companies and the power structure within countries and companies.
Tie it together, right?
Go ahead.
Right? It's just the fact of like so. If you don't want to agree that's the same lobbyist, well, then you're saying there's an extra tier of lobbyists that has the presidency.
Like I said, we broke it down. I don't know how much more technical I can get. Whereas, like, there's different lobbyists depending on where you are at in a vote on a particular thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think. Exxon's going to try and lobby everyone for them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't want to stress your spot anymore if you're stressed out by it. But for me, I'll say it my way then. For me, I don't believe that. I believe that it's just the same lobbyist. So to me, when you say like the Congress can override the president, I just don't believe it.
They can veto that.
I just don't believe it, bro.
If it's a Republican Congress, it happened all the time where they were literally trumping Obama because it was a Republican Congress the whole time. I mean, like,
Steven, what were the votes decided by, Steven? One. They were decided by one vote over and over and over. Then let's go to cabinet members, Steven. Remember when it was literally a tie and Mike Pence had to choose the one? Over and over, it gets decided by one vote, or it's a tie, and then it goes to the person that's already in power.
Because of where the majority is,
right? So what are you talking about when Congress can do this? When's the last time that Congress decided something?
Typically, you have Republican Congress. They favor Republican policies, just as you have Democrat policies. You have Democrat policies.
Over and over.
Who controls the House? Who controls the Congress?
When's the last time it was decided 70-30? When's the last time, bro? Never, bro. It's decided by one vote consistently. When something don't go good, they filibuster for fucking weeks and months, right?
All right, yeah.
Both sides try to win every single time they come in there. They both gain a little bit, take a little bit from the last one, right?
Yeah.
Same exact shit. So to me, it's just all in cahoots. You know what I mean? It's all in cahoots of that Congress and that president. They're working together. Now, is that backed by the central bank? I don't know. Is that Vanguard? Is that BlackRock? That's on a different level that I'm not sure of. But it clearly seems to be a fugazi line of we're decided 51-49, which really isn't even a decision. How is that democracy? Like, that's the shadiest democracy you could possibly find, right?
And I'm not arguing any of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not arguing any of that. But you can keep it going. You can continue going on, probably for the foreseeable future, And I mean, like that was the original point, and then we got to this, I mean,
well, I'm just writing down
companies are in cahoots with the government, but at the end of the day, I think you think there's a central 12 that controls the entire world, and I think that
I don't know if it's 12. I don't know if it's central.
And but your point, I mean, I would contend that I think there's strong countries with their business enterprises who all battle each other.
But
I mean,
but you do agree they got central banks.
Yeah. Okay.
And you do agree that the companies make the decisions.
Companies do lobby to help make decisions. Yes.
So how much control do they really got?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like when it comes to fighting for business interests or anything, I mean, when it comes to fighting for things, I mean, the country's gonna go and do that. I mean, like if people wanted to be hard on particular companies and exclude them, they could definitely get them out of the shit. I mean, if they want to eat that and get them out, I think they can definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? I think ultimately countries would have the final say and are the biggest and ultimate powers. That's just my idea. They work with I'm saying the countries. I mean the countries. The companies help operate within the countries and on global levels. But I think nothing at on which of like what China does. At the end of the day, there's China doing operations to secure its oil status in African countries using Contra operatives and shit like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That's just where I'm confused what you do right there. Is this like, so you're saying the country is the one that makes a decision, right? But we both
you made your point with the lobbying and the laws.
So then they're the ones that make the laws and they're the ones that make the decisions.
But what laws? I mean, like what is
the country really making? It seems all company.
Yes. Okay. But what they do? They help. So what does that lobbyist do? Okay. Well, I can build my pipeline here. Cool. I'll let you build that pipeline. But with the country, the way I look at it, for the step above that company, is their ability to operate and kind of like navigate like this international level with like kind of like military power and like kind of like operatives, like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like. I think the power level just lies slightly above and beyond. I mean, just because they make the laws within the countries for what? So that the companies can make some more money. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, the countries have more money than any single company probably could.
Okay, so when you say the country's making a decision, right?
And I mean, China decided to keep Amazon out of their country. Saying, I mean, it's just like shit like that.
Right, I got you. So you're saying the country's making the decision, though. What decision are they making then? What decision are they making?
I'm talking about like their military force and shit. I mean, like yes, they make the laws, like I said, but listen, okay. So then, what are they lobbying for? What are companies lobbying for?
Usually weapons.
Okay, and what? How? What for? What are they trying to buy weapons? Or are they trying to get for research? Okay,
they want a higher budget to buy more weapons.
Okay, we want to fund them for our projects.
It goes
okay,
up every year.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, what else? I mean, what else do they got lobby for? I mean, of course, they got lobby for some money for their funding of their projects.
They usually lobby a lot of FDA related things, like additive arguments, shit like that. A lot of things that have been brought up.
And
color dyes,
okay, and then
like
okay,
that,
and then I mean, outside of the I guess the bigger names, how many of those lobbyists fail and they turn away of whatever company it could possibly be,
so they fail,
because they don't want to play the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So they fail, and then another company wins.
You don't want to play the game
when they fail,
because that company wants to play the game. So I mean, it's like that's what I'm saying. That the power, you're coming to the government for that and trying to convince me for this, but like we're run by them. But like I'm trying to give you this. We're trying to work together. You know what I'm saying? Like ultimately, I have the final say as government, because you can't just go and do that.
I know you keep saying that.
And just kind of hang you out to dry and
confused on who you mean by
take a $1 billion from you. You know what I'm saying?
Because the company's the one deciding what the Congress says, and then
we just outline for what types of things they're looking for,
and then we agree that the president has lobbyists. So I'm confused on who's making the decision that's not corrupt.
Well, then I didn't say that no one was not corrupt. Like I don't understand.
The country's making the decision.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they're not corrupt. Where does that come from?
Who's the country? Who's making the decision, Stephen?
The bodies at will, whatever country that may be, however China has their thing set up, or however they have their thing set up, they have lobbies for here's your gas pipeline. Okay, we'll use your textbooks and your manufacturer for our education books and shit like that. Okay,
and then the companies that pay.
Here we go. I'm handing you out the money. I'm handing out the money. I have so much money. Handing it to you. You have your money. You continue to circulate and generate money in my economy, where I can continue to tax and continue to make money here, and then I can go and do things like wage warfare and secure oil for the country and its production and shit like that. I can go ahead and overthrow governments here and there, that whatever seeks fit for my country's economic growth and for the betterment of my people, and whatever else is going on for my country and for our interests here and abroad.
But you said the ones that don't play don't win, right? You just said that, right? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm a company, I'm Coca-Cola, and I buy AOC, right? I buy you, and then you go out there. I gave you enough money because you said I played enough. I bet enough. You go out there, and then you make a law for me, right? The company. What part of that did the country make a decision?
Okay, they didn't, and I never said they did. I never said that they did. Yes, because America ultimately has the final say. The governing bodies at will. The federal government. What more do you want? Who else is there? Who else do they go to? They go to Congress. Who's Congress? America. What do you want to see? What do you want to say?
Bro, we keep saying that Congress makes their decisions based off of companies, but you're saying that Congress is America. Okay. Congress is the company.
Oh my God. You see, that's what I'm saying. And this is where we're different. You see them, yes, they're in cahoots, but I think they're much more, I think they're in cahoots as well, but on a different level. I don't, like, you keep saying, I understand how hard it is for me to see it. I don't know why you can't see it my way either. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Forever.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand.
Can't get past that point right there of you saying that the country's making the decisions, but we both agreeing that the congressperson does whatever the lobbyist does. But you keep saying the country makes decisions. Who are you talking about? Because it's not Congress, it's not the senators, it's not the governors, it's not the mayors, it's not the police chiefs, it's not the representatives.
Jesus Christ.
Who is it?
Oh my God! It's literally Congress. That's what I told you from the get-go. There's this power. There you are. You're coming to me. I don't know how much more I can explain it. You know what I'm saying? You can disagree all you want. Okay, I just see it a little differently. I don't understand.
You did agree. That's what I'm confused on. You did agree.
Yeah, but I know you're just taking my point to such an extreme, and I don't understand what you're looking for from there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're looking for. There's a separation. Companies do lobby. You have all that correct. Yes, they do. But the way I look at it, there are decisions that are made by the United States. They're separate. Yes, you have your laws that are written by the lobbyists. Yes. But at the end of the day, the government operates as a separate entity, and Coca-Cola has no idea of their doings in overthrowing the government of Venezuela because of them wanting to ditch the dollar and trading euros. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You're getting so frustrated, but all I'm doing is literally going off of
listen, okay, listen.
I'm just so confused because what that's saying, Steve, makes no sense. It makes no sense, bro. I'm sorry. That makes no sense. What part?
Okay, I just outlined it for you. Okay, Coca-Cola has no idea what they're doing in Venezuela. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Steve, how's that? Why can't you separate that? What's wrong with separating that?
you said whoever pays the most is the one that wins. Did you not say it, Steve?
Oh my God!
Did you not say that, Steve?
Yes.
So why are you saying why do you keep doing all that? If you said that,
why are we still on that? I've already admitted to you. I've already admitted to that. Okay, I've admitted that. And now I just said what you want. You asked what country the decision makes. These lobbyists have no.
Does it, but then you say the company that pays the most gets the decision.
Oh yes,
so you're just.
But I just separated that level of power with you though, right there, man. Where I separated
so you think
that lobbying.
You think company they turn down the money?
No. Listen, what I just said, please. The company doesn't know what the government's doings of overthrowing the government in Venezuela. They have no doings with that. That's a separate government entity that decide to do what's within the best interest of the country. Now, are you not listening to the example? Yeah. You asked for the separation of decision. What decisions the country's making?
Yeah.
Okay. The company is lobbying for their laws to help navigate within the country and the regulation of the country. What this company who's lobbying for that doesn't know is what the government is doing, or any part of the decision to overthrow the government in America for want to trade in a different currency or something. That's what I'm saying. Those types of decisions, those types of actions and decisions that a country does, that's what separates it.
Okay, I just don't agree, bro. I'm sorry, but if you don't think that a Lockheed Martin lobbyist controls how much weapons they buy or where we're going to attack, bro. But it's crazy because literally almost everyone universally agrees that we want the war with Iraq for oil.
Man, we did.
So therefore, who decided that, Stephen? An oil company that pushed it to Congress, that pushed it to president, that got exactly what they wanted. Hold on. Decision, but listen, we went to war over what a company wanted.
How crazy is it that maybe it wasn't because of lobbyists like that? It was because we needed to secure our own oil.
Okay, but
we needed to secure it. We needed oil. We don't have any oil. Where do we get it?
But we
as a country. What does every single operating weapon that we manufacture need? What does everything that this country depends on need? What does the backbone of this country need?
Keep going. See how far you can go. Get to the part where you say, what's our country's top lobbyist? ExxonMobil. Oh my God. What do you know? The company that needs oil, that's his top lobbyist. He's going to war. What? Come on, man, bro. You acting like I'm talking hypotheticals, bro. It's fucking facts, bro.
I get all that, bro. I get all that.
Where are we getting where the country makes a decision?
How is there not?
I just explained to you where a company made a war decision. A war decision, Steve.
All right, man.
A war decision.
Yeah. All right, but how hard is it that how crazy or far-fetched is it that this company or this country does not have a slight bit more power than this person right here? You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense to me. This country, at the end of the day, is a different entity in an aspect. I don't know, like that's just.
I don't know who you think the country is. I just can't get past that part of who you think the country is.
I don't know what you want.
It's not the president. It's not the Congress. I don't know who the country is.
In the world, it's just.
I don't know who's left in the country. If we say the Congress is funded, the
companies,
Congress is
it's just ExxonMobil with Jai, and then they're all. I mean, that's is what it is.
Why are you saying it like that's crazy talk? Steve?
I'm not saying it. I see it that way. I see it that way.
It's a literal fact, and then you're treating me like I'm crazy, and it's a literal fact, bro. I don't understand that. Like you're treating them like it's crazy, and it's a literal fact.
I see it, bro. I see it, bro.
You keep saying the country is above it, but yet your president's literal top.
Bro, I'm just saying. At the end of the day, the final power lies within the country, and then the country's gonna do whatever. Man, it's just the
country who can't be the president who decided to go to war, can't be the Congress who's backed by the companies. Who the fuck is the country then?
So through an analogous way, yes, the companies. I don't know. I mean, that's what you want. That's all you want. I mean, all I ever said in the beginning, I think there's a level of separation that country ultimately has at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they ultimately have that. That's just, it's a country. What's bigger than that in this world? What's bigger than that in the world? What's bigger in the world?
Give credit that's a real example I gave you, bro. Like, why are you getting all frustrated and crazy? Like,
it's just the way you talk, and then the way you make jumps and leaps for me, and then it's just like I don't know, it's just the way you do it, bro. It started super calm, it was cool, and then it got, and we just went really hard, bro. It was like I don't even understand, like it was just like I was so wrong It was that's not even possible.
Listen,
right there.
listen,
like,
first of all, the way I feel about that is to me, because I'm like, well, me and you are usually on such the same page, right? First of all, I already said that probably wasn't the way to go about it, right? For me and you, I'm always like, me and you are on such the same page. So when we got to this point where it was like, well, what do you think? Like, who's making these decisions at the top? Like, we just hit this point. I don't want to go through it all again, but we just hit this point where you were saying the country, and like I was explaining to you, nothing crazy, bro. Like real facts that you know too. Like, that's true. That and his top lobbyist was ExxonMobil. And like he sent us to war to Afghanistan. That's not why. I don't know why like you're flipping out about that, because it's just truth.
No,
so
it's
I gave you a literal example. I gave you a literal example. You know what I mean? Where a company sponsored a senator to become president, and then they went to war for that company. So why are you treating me like I'm crazy?
No, I'm not. It's just the way I was reacting was to you're coming at me. I'm just like, look, no, I don't know why you're acting like what I said was so crazy. No, so, and I'm just like, okay, well, like, right. Okay, so then you go into it, and it's like, okay, well then yeah, and I told you, like, I told you, and I get it. That's these companies. Just the way I think, just these countries have that edge at the end of the day over top. They're countries after all. They're literal countries. They're within control of populations and regulation and the law that they set forth in their country. I just don't know what's higher. That yes, you can lobby for those, but I mean, at the end of the day, we've denied plenty of lobbies, and we've done that. I mean, like,
I got you.
It's just like I mean, like, it's just I know that there's some cahoots and that there's a level of like equalness to it as well. But like the way I look at it in the power form of things, like you're coming to me to then give you that leeway, so then I'm the more powerful one. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even want to. I'm not trying to even go in circles here. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, can I just debate the facts of it? Right? The facts is like lay out in this government like the top 100 most powerful people, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be like who makes your decisions in your country, Steve. Everyone has a lobbyist. And we both agreed that they do whatever lobbyist pays the most. Do you see where I'm like getting frustrated?
Yeah.
And you're saying like this country's above. No, I just told you top 100 people that make the decisions all got lobbyists. So when you keep saying there's like these people that are above it, who is above it?
None of them are above it, but just like I mean, like it's just the way I see the like I said, that's from the power struggle, from the get go. Just the way that kind of transfer works in my mind is like you come and want to operate within that. I mean, I think it's an American thing. I think that like it's hard because like the way America does it, that's how it goes down. But like I think to say that's where it goes down always isn't the case. I mean, like I think China is almost like a different breed because of what they're willing to do to then take this company from someone in like a private, like a free market supposedly, and then now it's a state company, and now it's a Chinese company. Mm-hmm. So like in my mind, yes, in America's case, you're probably 100% correct, but I don't think it's like that in China's case.
Okay, so why did we come so long to take that, bro? When you kept saying the opposite, you kept saying there's one person above, and all I'm saying is there's no one else above in America. That's why you said Venezuela. I said I don't want to talk about Venezuela. In America, everybody from the top down. So the president wants to make a decision. He goes to Congress. They both got lobbyists. Congress wants to make a decision. It goes to the president. They both got lobbyists. The companies make the decisions here. And we can do a China thing. And yeah, I told you before, I agree with that. I think that some of those were good decisions, but they have 12-year-olds on right on the workforce, and they scoop up homeless people and slaughter them, and they got 1 million Muslims in camps. So there's corruption. Like there is other corruption too. Yeah. Our system allowed this type of corruption to just go to the highest magnitude. Yeah. You see what I mean? To where I'm saying, like, I can't see any decisions. Like, who's the good guy in America that's like, this is for the country? No one. Everyone's getting paid.
The best way I can put it is, it's like the highest level of corruption in America is the companies, whereas like the highest level of corruption in China is China.
The politicians. Yeah, I agree. We've allowed that system to be set up. All I'm saying is when you kept saying that person above, it's like, well, this is what they set up, bro. This is the top 100 people. They all are allowed to get lobbyists. They have to wait 2 years, bro. 2 years to become a lobbyist when they leave, or 2 years after lobbying to become in the Congress. It's crazy, dude. It's so corrupt.
Yeah,
and they're all funded.
Well, yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
No matter the outline of which or how it's done or whatever. I mean, like at the end of the day, we both agree it's fucking corrupt as shit.
It's
and
corrupt.
and and that's the thing. That's where like we come to the idea of like where we've seen the kind of like evolutions of like where democracy first became thought of and socialism, communism, capitalism, free market capitalism, things that like
Right. Listen, bro, I'm not even trying to cut you off, brother. I'm just glad we're making headway here, right? So we're just at that point there, right? So just give. I'm sorry for acting like that towards you earlier, right? The problem is, like I said, we're so usually on the same page that I was so blown away that you were so far off. Let me just try to explain to you how it linked, right? So we just did that whole thing with America,
right.
So now we know America's the number one economy, right? So think about how many countries, well, number two, whatever you want to say.
It's tough.
But how can you say China's number one when they depend on us to survive? You see what I mean? So it's like 1A, 1B, whatever you want to say.
But I mean, like,
whatever you want to say, just listen.
Okay,
just listen
go.
So think about all the countries that are under us there, right? Because you can name 20, I can name 20, there's probably 50, right? Mm-hmm. Are those not corrupt, Steve?
Yeah.
Right. So now we're saying, let's say 50 countries corrupt with America, which is the biggest country. I won't even include nothing else yet. All those countries got centralized banks, right? America doesn't like the countries that don't have centralized banks, right? And every time we try to go away from anything but a dollar Standard Oil, we kill them, right? So now we got 50 countries here that all have centralized banks, all have corrupt governments, because if we're corrupt, they have to be corrupt because we've infiltrated their government.
Right.
So so now you're talking about there's only 232 countries in the world, I believe, last time I checked. So now you're talking about just right there. I'm not even going to go any further than what America's got going on. That's 25% of the world. That's a central bank.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Probably has a stock exchange,
I
right?
think there's only like 6 total stock exchanges.
Okay, well, they probably use America's stock exchange, right? So they have the companies. Our companies are still over there, though, right? University of Maryland's in Germany, shit like that, right? So we're all over this place. So let's just say 25% right there is corrupt nations with centralized banks who are funded by similar companies, fund similar governments.
Okay.
You see what I mean? So, like, if you're these other countries, right? If you're Mao in China, or you're, Francis, whatever it is, you're Putin, why would you go, let's fight, right? Instead, bro, you're going to do like how Comcast and Verizon does us, right? You're just going to say, you can have this much, I'm going to have this much, and now these people are all the way at the top. All of them aren't even. This
is what makes it very hard for me to believe, though, because, like, South China Sea shit, and then, like, as a global power, especially someone who, like, so Russia and China are close, and me as America, in this, we're working together, but then it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's always that mistrust within the backstab who then come out on top as a country.
And right here, you can be as much right. You can be as much right here as I can be wrong, bro. But in my opinion, bro, it's an orchestrated event, bro. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not saying that everything that happens throughout this world is being pulled, right?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is these people that are at that supreme top, it's all connected around 2 things, bro. It's money and power, dude. Like that, they're all connected in that. Why would they have competition, right? There's plenty of us to be slaves.
Because, because that was all fine and cool when China was in a famine in the 50s. That's all fine and cool. These other countries, even Russia, weak as fuck after World War II. You just had a war on your continent. We were good over here, Us coming as the number one in that time is no coincidence because of a lot of world events that happened at that similar time. No other country to contend with us. Most of the world in shambles, and then any other major competing economies were wiped out with World War II. So then when you get, we're all working together. America orchestrates NATO to ensure that Europe stays in peace. We keep Europe close, distance Russia. We continue to sign allies into NATO, and you have things like that, and then you have an emerging China. Why would I ever welcome a new emerging power to the table? Like to orchestrate something. It's just like, and then eventually that power overtakes me in a sense. And it's just, I don't know. It's tough.
Let me just work with you. Let me give you something. Why would I allow that power to come into it? Well, think about it, Steve. Damn. If I said America was the top economy and you said no, so that meant you meant China, right? Who makes every fucking thing in the world? Steven, they still want mega yachts, brother. They still want mega yachts. So what happened, right? They have America, but America has these morals of we don't do these things. We're create a country without those morals, brother. We're create a country where the government controls the company, where a kid is allowed to work, where we will silence religion, where we will silence freedom of speech, bro. All they did was create what they got wrong with America. I know, listen, I don't want to sit here and be the ultimate conspiratorist, right? It's like every single thing is, right? Like that. All I'm saying is, bro, the people that got in the lead in the beginning, bro, they chose a lot of this shit and how it played out. And no, you can't control the down, like, did that soldier go that way and kill that guy that day? You cannot control that shit, bro. All I'm saying is, I always run through the same thing, right? So, most people agree they poison our food, they poison our water, they've corrupted our government, but we're supposed to believe our history. And that's a part that really bothers me. Okay. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So that's just where I'm at, bro.
I got you.
I'm not trying to be ultimate conspiratorial because that's why I said I do the spiritual, I do the realism. You know what I mean? I try to do both sides. What you said, that's all realist. That's really... And listen, that might be what happened. But there is a part where, like, you don't know if there was a ship coming in the night to just restock the places that got hit, right? You don't know if rebels were getting funded by the same place that was getting destroyed. You don't know, Steven.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't.
That's why I was saying in the beginning of this. Just give them more credit than you're giving them, bro. Think about think about if me and you were in that role. Me and you were sitting there all day, bro. We went to school. We were trained since, bro, they're picking out probably a fucking child and raising them from the time they're a child to be a fucking military and economic manipulation expert, bro. They put 10 of them in a room. You see what I mean? And we're in here and we're thinking about shit and we're like, China should start something in the South China Sea so that Americans start beefing here. We're going to create some exports on here. That's going to make it look like they're hard on China. Meanwhile, we're like China go to Africa. Bro, this is not hard when you have the power. Do you see what I mean? Once those lines, it was hard to establish those lines. But once those lines are established, bro, they're hard to break, dude. So now you're funded by these centralized banks. So it's like, okay, let's say China wanted to say, no, we're our own country. Well, we just agreed that America and 50 other countries were corrupt, right? So now I'm saying Taiwan's mine, bitch. And I'm coming over there and I'm going to start knocking down your fucking constructions you put in the sea. Now I got 50 other countries with me, bro. You see what I mean, bro? The war's going to go where the money goes. So that's why I believe China's not going to say, oh, no. They're going to say, bro, fuck the rest of the 7.9 billion people on this planet. The top 100 here are going to be million and billionaires. The top 100 in your spot, top 1,000, whatever it is, 10,000 are going to be millions and billionaires. And we're going to get all these fucking kids, generation after generation, famine after famine, racism, segregation, apartheid, all of this shit to separate all of these people and make a slave force. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be that conspiratorial, bro, but you can see how, like,
100%.
Check John D. Rockefeller's timeline, bro. Check John D. Rockefeller's timeline and his daddy's timeline. And you can see that this isn't conspiratorial shit, bro. He wrote the history books. John D. Rockefeller wrote the history books. That's not conspiracy, bro.
No,
That's fucking fact, dog. Mm-hmm. The oil, the same person that came up with the oil, the same person that banned your outlaw. You see what I mean, bro? These are the same person that laid your railroad tracks. These are problems, bro. These are problems. They're all tied in because if you got ahead in the beginning, you're evil, bro, and you're allowed to do things like that. You don't have morals, dude. You can keep that up, dude. You can keep that passing down. Like Bill Gates, right? Do you know about Bill Gates' daddy, bro? That's another one. No conspiracy. Anybody wants to look up Bill Gates' daddy. Look up what Bill Gates' daddy wanted and what his ideas were. Bill Gates, bro, is the brainchild of Bill Gates' daddy, dude. He created what he always thought he wanted, bro. He was talking about depopulation way before anybody said anything about Bill Gates, bro. It's passed down. Their daddies couldn't do it. So they do as much as they can. They pass it down. It gets all the way to the point where you're going to get to these points where, bro, why is it, right, that you said, not trying to even attack you, but you said we're at the best time in human history, most people would agree that. But yet we have the largest wealth gap ever in human history throughout the world. The largest wealth gap ever, bro. And it keeps growing farther and farther every year, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about at that time, that's what people are referring to when they think about, the good times and what this country is or could be. and what they've strayed away from. That's the time where you had the smallest wealth gap in probably history of America.
Right, but that's when we're turning the blind eye to the coal plant that's pumping 24/7. You know what I mean? Or the
Well,
guy with the black line.
100%, 100%, bro, 100%.
At what cost?
That's what I'm saying. People are willing to erase their line and continue to move that as long as we have a thriving middle population. I think people will be more willing to accept those loss of freedoms.
They need people to still do these things, bro. But at the end of the day, they're not gonna they know that people have power. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, listen. This is no conspiracy. This goes back to the age of fucking time. Divide and conquer. That's no conspiracy, Steven.
Oh yeah,
that is the objective,
100%,
bro.
100%, man.
Why do you think that there can be a rapist in the world, but there can't be someone who wants to depopulate? You see what I mean? It's no more of an evil mindset, bro.
Yeah,
Your daddy was working on it, and he gave you the ability to do to it. You're gonna work more on it, and you're gonna pass that down, bro. They're gonna buy all this fucking land. They're gonna take the resources. They're gonna hoard the wealth, bro. And the larger they make that gap, the more desperate you get, bro.
Yeah.
And the longer that you wait, 100%. The longer the gap gets. So all I'm saying is, what I'm saying, bro, it's not that crazy, okay? Now,
no, not at all. Not at all.
Right, but it's easy to sit there and say, okay, I never said I knew what BlackRock was, and I never said I knew what Vanguard was. All I'm saying is that could easily be all the presidents of the same group.
100%, bro.
That could be 100 people that we never heard of, right? That could
100%,
be the George Soros and the Rothschild. I can't say that I know that, but I can say what I sent you, right? I sent you them 10 pictures, and I sent you fucking 10 companies, and every single one, bro, was a top 3 purchaser. BlackRock and Vanguard, bro. That was almost top 10
100%.
Top 10 companies in America.
100%.
So you don't think they got the top 10 companies in Venezuela? You know what I mean? You're not giving them enough credit.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. Like, they're not like, man, like
the
enterprise, bro. The enterprises, bro, man. It's just, of course they can. It's just, I just think it it's the same thing, but I just think it works a little differently. I just think it works a little differently. That's all.
Those countries are
everything we talk about. I mean, of course they are, because they're built upon the people that are in that country. And we've already talked about declining America, and America, where at one point was on top of the world, now America is losing that position quickly, with many other countries catching up. I mean, it's America itself is a declining nation with a declining ideology, with a declining idea, who at one point lost their glory days from a revolution, from succeeding from another country successfully and setting up their own country from the ground up. Biggest superpower and the youngest one by far. I mean, it's something that Americans have held on to it for far too long. Just that idea, bro. There's that idea period.
I guess all we've been arguing here tonight is the fact that I think that the corruption goes higher. I think that they've done a little bit more. They intertwined a little bit more. Like, I think there's like a lot of things they're gonna let you decide, right? Like with the music thing. Like, I think they pump out the music, but at the end of the day, I really don't think they care about the music you listen to. I don't think that's the way they manipulate you. They're way more likely to manipulate you. Like, this is my opinion, in a TV show.
I mean, through any bit of entertainment or any type of consumable media.
Those little reels, that'll hit you, bro. Watch 100 of them by the time one song played. You know what I mean? You've been infiltrated, brother. You're infiltrated. You see what I mean? So it's like, that's why I was trying to say, right? So now that you kind of understand my mindset of how I think it's all working and how it's all fugazi. As I was saying before, like, I think that they just give you things that they already know they were supposed to give you. And we think we won things. But really is just always supposed to be like that, bro. Like
there's a word for it, but pretty much it's not that you try to, especially when it comes to leaking documents, you don't try to cover up leaked documents or things that weren't supposed to get out. You just flood them with more hypotheses.
Exactly.
I forgot what they call it, but there's a specific word for it.
Overload information or whatever.
There's like a particular word for it. I don't know what it is, but that's pretty much what it is. What's in effect, just in different capacities all around the world. What? Oh, you look at this page. I'm not sure why this clicked up at all. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why I clicked it off. We were good this whole time. I got you.
We
were this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I just want just to come full conclusion of that, of a more understanding of where you see it, and I get it. Maybe I'm being too conspiratorial. Maybe you're not giving enough. I just feel like I feel like the facts are there to follow, bro. Like what I'm saying, there's very few actual off the line hypothesis in there, bro.
But
the fact is, they all got central banks. They all got lobbyists.
It's just so tough because, I mean, like this is where when it comes to all this stuff and things like this, it just becomes so tough because we've already talked. I mean, you just said that like the things that you're like that they were meant to give you, or it's just one of the many pieces that were meant to flood our information stream, and none of it's correct.
Yep.
And I mean, it just becomes so tough.
Yes. Dude.
To where it comes down to where you're talking like almost ideology at that point, you know?
Yeah,
it's just tough.
You're 100% right. And you get to that point where you go, doesn't even fucking matter.
I think what we were meaning to do was agree at that moment and then go into talking about solutions into how we change it. rather than what caused this to begin with and how we got here. But how do we move forward, kind of like in a sense?
Well, I thought we were going to gloss right over that. Like I said,
that's what I'm saying. And then we're going to be like, okay, well, how do we change that or tackle that? Or like, what needs to fall in line for that type of conscious shift? Or
that's what I'm saying. Like these were all connected questions. They weren't just wild questions. You know, that's why I asked you, what's the system going to work? And then once you said you think the system was going to work, I just started explaining ways that it already doesn't work. You know,
but here's the question though.
But you were saying there's ways to fix that. But my thing is, listen, there's no law against a senator having a lobbyist. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you have to make a law to fix it.
Yeah.
So therefore, that system does not work.
Yeah. But can we continue to patch up those holes, patch up those leaks, and gain a functioning system?
You believe yes. I believe no. I think 400 million is too much. I think the system might be capable, but not a 400 million. I just think it's too much. Even with technology, I just think that's too much, bro. Too much people, too much ego, too much pride, too many bitches. You know what I mean? Like
that's probably why it's a little easier to control China. Because man, like,
bro,
it's kind of like old timey traditions that have cemented into like the cultural flow of people.
Bro, that type of shit.
The respective elders,
Now listen. Here's my thing, right? Now when you're talking about, well, there's still a country part of it that plays out, right? I agree with you. I just didn't agree with the part that you were saying. Like when you're saying like there's a country part and at the end the country can always override it. I don't believe that. But I do believe there is like country parts that play out based off of what laws were decided that aren't controlled by a company. Like I said, I don't believe everything is puppets, right? So like, for example, like, you know, in the Middle East, you know how they are about their bodies over there, right? So that's part of their religion. So also sex, about how they are with sex. You're supposed to wait. You're not supposed to put your wife. Actually, long story short, bro, there's a lot of rape over there because of this, right? And that's a lot of stuff. I'm not just saying that. I'm just saying what I know personally, right, is that there's a lot of rape over there, bro.
Right.
They rape in the ass, even on a woman. So that way, when hymens are checked, hymens still aren't busted. You see what I mean? So that's part of where, like, okay, to me, in my mind, right, some elitists infiltrated this country and put this religion in there. And they didn't say, oh, one day they'll start raping the asses to prove.
Right,
I mean? But they put that religion in it, and then the country part of that did play out to be like, oh, well, this is how people adapted on the bottom level. But on the top level, the president's still going to pretend he's a Muslim, even though he fucks little boys. You see what I mean? They're still going to pretend that everything's as the system goes. But the country still does have to, that goes down to 400 million people down the line, you can't control every line.
Okay.
There's free will in humans.
That's
why I have faith in us. Because I'm like, okay, well, we have faith. See, I think the same thing that might fuck this nation is the same thing that, you know, blessed it. It is that, you know, that right to bear arms, bro. Because at the end of the day, Egypt was able to all say, right, fuck them, let's get out there. But they're throwing Molotov cocktails and rocks. If we could get America to say fuck them, bro. And I don't want to say that because I know what that entails. I don't want like innocent police officers who have nothing to do with nothing to get like attacked and shit.
Right.
You can see that's an opportunity. That's a chance, right? If that happens in America, bro, it's gonna be. Listen, when I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be like nothing you've ever seen in history, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, like that's the thing. If you want to stand in front of the people and defend the opposition to the people,
We just have to be.
I'm sorry. You know, I mean, it's like
it kind of ties back.
If
to
you
want to,
if you want to still stand there in your military uniform and be like,
very
this
true.
is my country.
Very true.
And that's not my country.
For, right?
And it's like,
that's what I always say. Like, well, you know, I always picture getting a land. I'm like, all right, the government comes there, infiltrates one day. What I'm doing the right thing. People are gonna come stomping my garden and my gates, and they can see that like I'm trying to do the right thing. Like you're hoping the good in the people.
But that's
bro.
what sucks. That's what sucks,
you know,
because like
all people are inherently good. That's what you want to hope.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's just so weird because like that guy's willing to come over here and stab you in the back for a fucking Audi single family home and for his daughter to go to school. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Will, bro, in desperation, you know.
But when you're not in that desperation, it's just like, you know, it's like, who's really, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, you know. It's like when those people on the other side, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be, there'll be the government forces and there'll be the people who stand in opposition and rise up.
I mean, in the beginning though, of like, is somebody able to say I'm a follower? You see what I mean? Like a follower can still have a gun, a follower can still have a limbo. You got to be able to say like, okay, you know what, we are gonna band together. Like that's what I'm having the problem with. Picturing 400 million people, I'm just like, we just never want to band together, bro. We can't even get one community to do it. You know what I mean?
I'm talking like, different states.
Everybody, we hate each other. That's why I was talking to you before about what I believe in, like that different shit, bro. And I realized that shit at a young age, dude. I'm telling you, you don't want to believe me, bro. And maybe I am crazy, Steve, but I am spiritual to certain things. And bro, I think that's a lot of the reasons that sports was invented, bro. And I know that from personal experience, is the fact of when you're born here, bro, you're taught what? Fuck the Yankees. Fuck New York. Now it's fuck New York. Not even the Yankees. Fuck New York. You never even been to New York. You know what I mean? Oh, you're Ravens. Fuck Pittsburgh. So now, listen. Why is it listen, here's my funniest part. Why is it that the rivals are always the ones that's closest to you?
See.
Always, Steven.
Well, yeah. Well, look. 100%, bro.
Keep battling.
You know?
Divide and conquer.
But listen.
Divide and conquer. Who do you like on Jersey Shore? Oh, look, I like this person. Who do you like for president?
Okay,
I like this person.
Okay, I will agree to that, but I do think that these types of pocketed, almost like group individualism, when you're born in New York or you're from Philadelphia, or you're Baltimore or this or that or the other. I think those may be the natural side effects to kind of like banding together. Like okay, so you're from Philly, you're from New York. Well, I think naturally in like a tribalism type of idea, you would try to oppose each other anyway. But the way to unify that would be like, okay, well, you guys are separate, and look, you're even in your own states, and you guys can run your state, and you have state representatives who come, and they run all of America. Every state gets representatives come run all of America. So now you can tout your individualism, but I can also keep in check kind of like the way that this tribalistic idea works, and kind of give you kind of like that natural outlet to where you don't go crazy and try to kill your New York neighbors. So because you're from Philly and you're diehard, I'll kill everybody from New York, you know?
But I think that's the reason you do kill them, right? That's the reason that Philadelphia Eagles fans are throwing ice balls at Jets fans. You get what I'm saying? Like
that always exists, but what they did.
You're saying, right?
What I'm saying is what they did. They provided a healthy environment for the outlet of that type of behavior.
So are you? So would you say in the Gladiator days, if you were a fan, you would cheer for the Gladiator slave that came from your block?
Well, I mean, I don't.
You see what I mean? It's nothing but entertainment gladiator games, brother. Like, you know how much I love MMA. At the end of the day, I don't know if it should be legal, bro. I just kind of sickens me that we've found this way to make money, you know?
Well, not only that, but usually the combatants from poverty backgrounds, a form of exploitation.
True. Same thing with all sports.
But now we're in such a brutal form where it's like now we're watching poor people beat on each other so they can get a little taste of this lifestyle.
Exactly, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Where this entertainment is and then I was saying this, I was putting this thought together the other day with my boy. I was like, think about this, right? Think about what we agree. Like, let's say we were going to fight the government, right? We want our best people, right?
Mm.
So we all agree that the best athletes and the best builds are black people. Most of us agree best athletes are black people. If you can't, you're probably having trouble at home. You know what I mean? So best athletes are black people. What do they try to focus every single perfect body build for a war, right? For an anarchy into? They take him in poverty. You got LeBron James from poverty. He's got the perfect build to be the ultimate soldier. That's what he's got, bro. To be the ultimate soldier with 10 other guys like him to attack a local, you know.
And distract him with a sport. I don't want to say anything.
Instead, bro, just like I told you with Michelangelo.
And that satisfies that kind of like warrior gene mentality type of thing for competitiveness.
So they found a way to manipulate that. It's not that crazy,
No,
Steve.
No, it's not that
crazy. So now they know, okay, these are, you know, these are the people that's body archetype would fear us the most, right? Because nobody wants to face a 7 foot fucking 250 pound LeBron James or whatever, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to face that guy. They'd much rather face Stephen Baker or me.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
Combat.
So, like, they take these people and they control their divine work ethic, bro, to that aspect of it. And most of them fail and don't know what to do with their life afterwards, bro. You know what I mean? Or most of them, reach that money and then go broke. But they get you to go this whole line, you end up with nothing. Very few of them actually have played that right. They're getting better now. Don't get me wrong. A lot more awareness. But they control that. Just like I told you with Michelangelo, bro. They see this clear God-given ability and they can find it. They give them a church and they're like,
okay,
paint in here, bro. Paint in here. Don't paint while you're walking around the world for the world to see you. No, paint in here. Paint in here for the church. So the church can have all these people come say, wow, here's a donation. They control your divine work ethic, bro. I really do believe that, man. I think it goes deeper than you think, Steve.
No. I mean, like, it's not that it goes deeper than what you think. It's just what you're willing to kind of like think what could actually be possible. It's a true word accept. I mean, be possible.
Because like you said, though, it's tough, right? It's tough to say all these things are. So what have I said here tonight? That no matter what you do in the world, unless you pick up a gun and then go shoot people, right? You're not going to change nothing. That's basically what I just said to you, right? And that's what's hard. It's hard for you to accept that part. So it's way easier to say, fuck it, I'm playing my stocks. I'm going to drill oil. I'm going to have a kid. I'm buying a house. You see what I mean? Because everything that I just said means you're fucked. And now you have to go do every bit of hard work that the universe has ready for you just so you can say that you gave it a shot. And you probably still fail.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though. It's like, you know, it's like, again, it's like when we mentioned earlier, it's the leaders of the world, the great men, the great thinkers, the great, you know, people who go out and push against that idea every day. Those are the ones who are gonna.
Who do you think's doing that, though? Like maybe,
well, that's the thing. I mean? Well, that's the thing. You know, it's like we have.
Like even Elon's
we don't have that currently. You know what I'm saying? But like,
who's really in there? This shit is corrupt.
Listen, bro. That's the thing. It's not anything that anybody could like make a mainstream living nowadays doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like saying it's corrupt or preaching it's corrupt or preaching that idea is corrupt. It would be at this point. I think we'd be in the place of like mobilization of kind of like action, and we don't have that. But the whole point of me connecting in the good American life with what we have today is that we have a decline in the quality of life for the majority of the population, and that's what I think will spur the next level of thinking and next levels of ideology. Is that suffering that we're looking at in front of us?
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions. What do you think was up with that Terrence Howard video I sent you?
Oh, that was definitely weird.
What do you think is up with that Jim Carrey video?
That's definitely a weird one.
What do you think is up with Jim Carrey when he was on the red carpet?
But see, those ones are very tough.
What do you think? I'm asking you. What do you think?
That's what I'm saying. Those ones are very tough because the idea that these guys went out and broke the mold and let go of a secret.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's the tough part, TV. Right? But just stay right there for a second, right? Here I am, right? here I am trying to break every mold, every one of those molds to everybody I meet, right? And nobody else is saying this. You see what I mean? I'm not Illuminati. No one's gave me any bit of money. And here I am saying, bro, this is all corrupt. We need to do this, right? Here I am saying this, right?
Yeah.
But to me, it could never be nothing. You see what I mean? Why couldn't that be? But look, there's 99 people that'll tell you the same exact thing, right? Jersey Shore, 40 grand a year, whatever it is. You see what I'm promotion, that'll tell you that. 99. Why couldn't that be the one person that's just like what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Not saying we're agreeing, but that's doing the same thing where it's like, bro, all of you are willing to say everything's great. Rather right or wrong, not saying I'm right, not saying Jim Carrey's right, not saying rather right or wrong. One person saying, bro, I don't know what this is, but I've seen it, and that's fucking corrupt. That's that's all I'm getting out of any of those videos. When he's saying all that extra shit, I don't even take that. All I'm saying is this is a guy that realized he was inside of this shit, and he realized what was going on there was corrupt shit. You see what I mean? And then I'll tie that into bigger things like Weinstein, Epstein. You see what I mean? So we can follow these things, Steve. These aren't conspiracies anymore, brother. That's the best thing about these times, bro. We can tie shit together, bro. This is just truth. This is just truth.
Well, I mean,
they were raping people in Hollywood. Bill Cosby was drugging bitches. Epstein had an island.
But see, this is the thing. This is the thing, though. You know, and this is what makes it super tough to navigate these things. Yes, we can connect as many dots as possible when you're already operating in a level of which the information out there is under the same idea that the information that they would allow you to have,
right?
Or the idea that some of the ideas that we went and attached ourselves to were ones put in place by them to begin with.
Well, that's what I was trying to say, Steve. They can only control so much.
That's why it makes it so tough when it's just like we sit here. It's like this is what is going on, but that's not me arguing saying that that's not what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But just
appreciate free will too, though, right? That's what I'm saying about free will too. I can run up to you. You're Jim Carrey. I can run up to you on the street, bro. If I choose to that day, I can run up to you with a video camera in your face, and you could say some crazy shit to me.
Mm-hmm.
Free will. You see what I mean?
100%.
Free will at any given time they can't pull every string at all times, bro. They just try to control that main factor.
But the public perception, I think, what you could possibly see, especially when you have the Epsteins or the Bill Cosbys or the Weinsteins, is that what you have in front of you there is someone who either misstepped and was hung out to dry by the same people that they were a part of not too long ago.
Right.
Epstein, we know he served. You know he served many people, and who knows the reason why he was ousted to begin with.
We're never know.
Because ultimately the risk that they took is exposing a pedophile ring and almost implicating everybody in the world. It's like,
but you ever heard of the way I look at that? You remember when when Colombians sell coke and then they send one submarine with 10 kilos to get caught, and then they send the submarine.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's what it is.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. So it's just like I think anyone can be made an example of. One of the things who knows? Because the idea that the government, if they want to discredit you and change public perception of you, they can do it on a whim.
Yeah, they control it all, or do they fake it all? Who knows?
Exactly,
they're so powerful, bro, that we don't know.
One of the things, I was watching this video on John McAfee and his suspicious death. He was on the run for tax evasion, and he was up. Yeah. That whole thing. Was he just crazy, or was he really? Or what? He knew he was on his deathbed. What was he exposing? Possibly. Who knows? If anything at all,
bro. It goes on and on, dog. The bottom line is that we all agree it's corrupt, right? We just try to work for a better tomorrow. I got to piss so bad.
Yeah, so do I.
This was a great fucking cast. I'm sorry for getting you frustrated. Over there. We can work through shit and come up with solutions, but sometimes you do hit these walls. It's first cast back. Thank everybody for checking us out. I love you. I missed you, bro.
You get to a crossroad and you get too hung up on which way to go, but at the end of the day, it's the same destination.
You heard the man. Bro.
We're trying to tackle some
ideas.
Check us out
if anybody with our FIFA Pro Club, SRT Broncos. Shout out to Saul. We miss and love you, brother. See you everybody soon. Thank you for checking us out. Stay sexy. I got this. So bad. Oh, I gotta go piss, bro. I'm about to hurt myself. Like, I can't even bend, bro.